Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Seth Waugh, the CEO of the PGA of America, and I'm so honored to serve you all in this beautiful game every day. It's certainly the most fulfilling opportunity I'll ever have in my life, and I'm really sorry not to be there tonight to be with you all, but I really wanted to congratulate all the Gateway Award winners and just thank everybody for all you do all year long to make so many people's lives better. The amount you're on the front line impacting so many lives and growing and improving this incredible game of ours. So thank you for all you do for so many. Thank you for all you do for the association, and thank you all for all you do for this game. And I hope to see you all soon, and have a great night.
Good evening. My name is Grant Masson. I am the president of the Gateway PGA. Honored to be here tonight. This is absolutely one of our favorite nights of the year. It's a special night for the players. It's a special night for all the pros who win awards. And also, it's so nice to be here at Old Hickory. So thank you, Old Hickory, for agreeing to host tonight for this wonderful meal that we're all going to be able to share together as well. I'd also like to thank Old Hickory. They're going to host us tomorrow morning for our Gateway Fall meeting also. So thank you very much to Old Hickory. Before we get started this evening, I'd like to ask Jesse Barge to come up. Jesse is going to say our mealtime prayer. Gateway PGA and the PGA of America is an inclusive organization. We support all faiths and also those of no faith. So if you'd like to participate, please do. With that, Jesse Barge. Thank you, Jesse.
Thanks, Grant. If you would join me. Our Lord and our God, we're here to celebrate tonight excellence. And we know that you created each one of us, and when you did, you fashioned us with special talents, and you gave us a purpose in life. And Father, tonight we come to honor and recognize those who took those talents, followed your purpose down the path that your sovereignty gave them. And Lord, we're so thankful for that. Along with the honorees, the rest of our PGA membership wants to thank you for the people in our lives who let us do the things we do in our careers. Father, our families, our wives who love us and support us, our children who inspire us, Father. We thank you for our mentors who share their knowledge and wisdom, and we thank you for our friends who acknowledge our talents and encourage us. Father, now we ask that you bless our fellowship tonight and bless this meal. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Jesse. And to get started here, I'd like to introduce our MC for tonight. He is a special individual. He's also a good friend. Nathan Carnes is he was the 2022 Golf Professional of the Year, which means he chairs the 2023 all the awards process for this season. Also, another note on Nathan Carnes. Most of you in the room already know this, but Nathan serves as the National Secretary of the PGA of America. He is the first person from the Gateway section to do so. Eventually, he will become the president of the PGA of America. So we are very lucky to have him in our section and very lucky to call him a friend. Thank you very much, Nathan Carnes.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. How's this? Are we good? Still not good. Well, I know I can't mess anything up now. How about that? We'll just go with the mic for now until they figure it out. Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Grant. And if you didn't know, the video there, that was Seth Waugh, the CEO of the PGA of America, and he's actually traveling tonight to go visit with our friends at the USGA and the RNA because they're getting ready actually tomorrow to announce the decision on the golf ball rollback, but I'm not going to bore you with those details tonight. But yes, thank you, Grant. My name is Nathan Carnes. I'm the PGA General Manager just down the road at Winghaven Country Club. I am the current Secretary of the PGA of America, but more importantly for tonight, I'm a very proud 20-year member of the Gateway PGA of America. What I'd like to do before we get started tonight on the awards process is talk a little bit about the Gateway section, who we are and what we do, especially for our guests tonight. So here at the Gateway section, we are one of 41 sections of the PGA of America. Gateway section serves about 3 golf professionals that work at about 200 golf facilities in the eastern half of Missouri and the southern third of Illinois. The PGA of America serves about 9,000 golf facilities across the country club, which equals 30,000 golf professionals. So when you think about the PGA, there's obviously a lot of confusion amongst people with us versus the tour, especially now. What I like to say in the current market is we are not, talk about the PGA of America, we're not the ones on TV playing golf for millions of dollars. We're the ones trying to bring millions of golfers to the game of golf through mostly what our golf professionals do at the facilities that we're going to celebrate tonight. So specifically at the Gateway section, simply put, we take care of golf, we take care of our members, and we take care of the community. We take care of golf by promoting golf in the community of St. Louis through our programs in junior golf. We also promote our PGA members for jobs at facilities throughout the section. We educate our members to try and enhance their career at these jobs, to try to provide them with more opportunities for jobs. We also provide playing opportunities for our golf professionals, locally and nationally, tournaments that they can compete in at the highest level. And lastly, we're stewards of the community. We do that through what we call PGA Reach Gateway, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. The best part about tonight is that we get to celebrate the best of everything I just said. Our best junior golfers are with us, our best players, our teachers, coaches, mentors, educators, business people. We even get to put 2 of our individuals in the Hall of Fame. And then we're going to conclude tonight by honoring our 2023 Golf Professional of the Year, Mr. Gideon Smith from Quincy Country Club. So before we get started, and a couple housekeeping notes. We are going to go through these awards during dinner service, so please enjoy dinner as we go through this process. After you come up, every award winner, we're going to do a short Q&A, 2 to 3 questions, and then you're going to exit the stage and go get your plaque, take your pictures. And then at the end of the evening, if you have any large families here, do you want a group picture, like Joe Schwint? We're going to do that afterwards in the back. All good? Okay. So let's try one more time. Is this mic working? Mic's not working. All right. So it is our tradition. We're going to start and kick off the evening with our Junior Golf Award winners. So a part of the Gateway PGA is we operate a junior golf program. This junior golf program has 2 parts. It's got a developmental side, and as the kids age, it gets into more competitive tournaments. The Gateway PGA Junior Golf Program has about 1,000 kids that play in these tournaments all over the state of Missouri, southern Illinois. And these programs, these tournaments equate what they would see in high school and eventually in college for the golfers. To be one of our Player of the Years for the Junior Golf Program, not only do you have to play good all summer long in our program, but you also have to beat some of the very best kids in the area. So it's quite the honor for these individuals to be with us tonight. Tonight, for our junior awards, we have 5 Player of the Years for the juniors. 4 of them are with us tonight, so we're going to call them up here at the same time and do a little bit of a Q&A so we can get to know them. So join me in welcoming, first, our 18-hole girls Player of the Year from the 12 to 14 age division. Come on up, Haley Costello. We have our 18-hole boys, age 12 to 13 division. Please welcome Leo Miller. Eighteen-hole boys, age 14 to 15 division, Player of the Year. Please welcome Cohen Veerling. And last, we have our 18-hole boys, age 16 to 18 division. Please welcome Samuel Otwell. So I've been at the Gateway Awards dinner for a long time, and I know that this is their favorite part of the evening, to get up here and talk. And in full disclosure, I know Leo, and I've been joking with him the last week, telling him he had to give a 20-minute presentation. I had 20 questions, and it's going to be okay, Leo. We're all good. So what we'd love to start off with is just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you go to school, and where do you practice. Easy questions. You ready? Everybody have a microphone?
I don't have a microphone. I'm Haley Costello, and I go to Fort Zumwalt West District. I practice at Old Hickory.
I'm from. I'm Leo Miller, and I'm from Lake. I'm Leo Miller, and I'm from Lake St. Louis, Missouri. I practice at Windhaven Country Club, and I go to Frontier Middle School.
I'm Cohen Vierling. I go to Francis Howell High School, and I practice at Whitmore.
I'm Sam Otwell. I go to Alton High School, and I practice at Spencer T. Olin.
Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. While we figure out our audio here, are we good now? Yeah. How about that? All right. So you're full of a room of golf professionals. Tell us, who do you work with on your golf swing? And also, we want to hear about what your favorite round is this year and why. So who works with you on your golf swing? Hopefully it's a PGA professional. Hopefully it's not one of your parents. And tell us about your favorite year this year, or favorite round this year.
I work with Ed and Zach from Old Hickory and Brian from Belle Reve, and also my dad. And my favorite round this year was at Pinehurst number 6 during U.S. Kids World the first day, because I played really good and it put me in contention.
My golf coach is Rob at Family Golf and Learning Center. My favorite round was the Gateway Tour Championship at Windhaven, because I shot 74 and it was my lowest round ever.
I work with Denny Walters Jr. at Bogey Hills Country Club, and Tom DeGrand at Pro-Am Golf, and my grandpa. And my favorite round is probably at Whitmore this summer when I shot 64 playing with my grandpa.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I've worked with a couple people, but mainly John Stymack at Pro T down in Wood River, Dan Politis, who I saw here tonight, and then my dad as well. I've kind of had two rounds that have been my favorite. One of them was second day at state when I shot 2 under to get to 5th. And then my favorite was, it was 4th of July. I was playing with 2 of my buddies, and I had a hole-in-one and shot 67.
Wow. All right, so we're all so last question here for our junior player of the years, and we're all competitive. We're all, we're golf professionals. You're playing in competitive tournaments. When you tee it up, you want to win. I know for me, when I was a kid, my dad was a golf professional. I wanted nothing more than to beat my dad all the time. So who is it? And it could be a school, it could be another junior, maybe it's one of your parents, maybe it's your coach, who knows? Who is somebody that you always want to beat on the golf course?
I always do want to beat my dad, but I usually just want to beat anyone I'm playing against.
There you go.
I want to beat my dad also, and I also want to beat anyone I play against.
I want to beat my friend Cole Hendricks because every time I'm in a tournament, it seems like I get paired with him at least one time. And at state, over both days, we shot the exact same score.
The person I want to be most of the time is my teammate Alex Yadis, who I played with in high school, and we always shoot around the same, so it's pretty competitive.
Business, and hopefully one day you'll be back here as a PGA professional in the Gateway section working in the golf industry. It's such a great industry to be in. So congratulations to our junior player of the year. You're all going to exit stage left over here. I'll sit down. All right. Well, again, as a reminder, we're going to work right through dinner service, so please enjoy dinner. Now we're going to shift over to our Gateway PGA Professionals Players of the Year. So the Gateway section has a pretty intense tournament program that goes throughout the year for our section members. And again, that encompasses mostly the eastern half of Missouri, southern third of Illinois. This year, the Gateway section saw a very much an increased tournament participation at many levels, so much to where assistants were playing more and more tournaments. A lot of our different categories were playing in more tournaments, trying to meet the needs of some of the Player of the Year category. And what's really cool about the tournaments that we offer for our Gateway PGA professionals is they have the opportunity through our local tournaments to qualify for national tournaments. That would be our National Club Pro Championship called our PPC, our Senior Club Pro Championship, which is called the Senior PPC, and in those events, the top players in those events actually qualify for the PGA Championship and the Senior PGA Championship. So it's a pretty cool playing opportunity for our golf professionals that also have day jobs that work at these facilities. So we have 6 Players of the Year for our adult golf professionals. We're going to bring them all up here together. We're going to start with our Women's Player of the Year. Low round this year, 74 at Gateway National. She's the current executive director of the Gateway PGA section. Congratulations, Allie Wells. Our Senior Player of the Year, low round of 78 in the PPC at Persimmon Woods Golf Club. She's the Director of Instruction at Winghaven Country Club. Congratulations to Barbara Blanchard. Our Assistant Golf Professional of the Year is from Forest Hills, and this is the 3rd year in a row he's won this award. So he's the 21, 22, and now 23 Assistant Professional of the Year. Congratulations to Matt Swanson. Our Senior Player of the Year is from Family Golf and Learning Center. 1 win and 5 second-place finishes this year. He qualified for the National Senior PPC, which is our professional national championship. He's a multi-time Player of the Year award winner. Congratulations, Super Senior winner, Bob Gauss. Our Senior Player of the Year, also from Family Golf and Learning Center. He qualified for both the National PPC and Senior PPC. He actually tied for 11th in the senior PPC at Port St. Lucie Golf Club a couple months ago, which qualifies him to play in next year's senior PGA Championship at Harbor Shores in Benton Harbor, Michigan, which is pretty cool and exciting. Congratulations to our Senior Player of the Year, Rob Sidorsik. Which I actually believe he's not here yet, correct? Because he's working. He's giving a golf lesson, which that's what we do. So that's great, Rob. Hopefully we'll make it to celebrate your award tonight. And finally, our Rolex Player of the Year. He had 2 wins this year, low round of 66. He won by 5 strokes to secure it. He won by 2.75 points. So it was a close race, and he's won this award before. But congratulations to our Rolex Player of the Year, to Ryan Roy. If we could have everybody come on up. All right, so I feel like I have 2 pretty easy questions for the best players in our section, and I think what most people don't realize is how hard it is to maintain your own skill and abilities on the golf course while also maintaining your job, what you do at your facility, whatever role you're in, and also a lot of you have families, so you're busy at home, you're busy at facility, but you also have to take time to practice so your skills are good, that allows you to win like you do. So tell me how do you manage your time to where you allow yourself to be able to practice and keep your skills on the golf course while managing your family, while managing all your duties at the facilities?
Test. Everybody hear me? I guess being a director of play development at Forest Hills, I just try to space out my lessons, try to give myself at least an hour a day where I can get some time to practice in between lessons. That's how I manage my time.
I would agree with Matt. A lot of us don't have a whole lot of time to practice, and when we do, a lot of times it turns into lessons or income for us anyway. So I think a lot of us, through the years, we've learned how to play without practicing, and with having a lot of great support staff around us, it just makes it work.
This one works. I love your answer, Ryan, and I think in some ways I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage not having a golf course right in the backyard. Working at the section office, we don't always get as easy access to facilities or be able to pop out. So I think it's something that I work on and make a point evenings, weekends to try and get out for 9 and hit a few balls here and there. But yeah, it's also just learning how to play when you don't have a lot of time to practice, how to just keep the ball in front of you when your games, when you don't have your A game.
Hey, Allie, you can come over anytime. You want to go? Can you hear me? Cool. I'm a little different than most of these guys. I've been teaching my whole life. Coming out of college, I worked for 4 years at a country club at Sunset Hills in Edwardsville, and I kind of knew right away that wasn't for me. I needed to find a place to teach, and teaching allowed me to play golf for many years, but mainly I can arrange my own schedule, my own boss. So I would make sure that I had a couple days off here and there to practice, play. But yeah, my job is what saved me for being very competitive for a number of years.
Wow. So I'm kind of at a point now where I feel like helping my students. So I'm a teaching pro at Winghaven Country Club, and I feel like helping my students is getting on the golf course with them and seeing what they're doing right and wrong. And that has enabled me to be able to be out on the golf course also and to be able to play some. So that has really helped me and my students. But the older I get, I don't know how you do it, Bob. We're back here in the senior seats back here, and it's getting tougher and tougher. So, but I just, got to keep that love of the game and keep on trying to do it.
So the PGA trains us to be experts in the business and the game of golf, right? And that's what we tell people. That's what we tell our customers, our members at our facilities. But even the best players in the world have coaches. They have help. They have assistants. So for you all, if you need help in your golf swing or maybe preparing for a tournament, who do you go to? Who helps you? But also just as important, what do you look for in a coach?
I'll start this off. I work at a range, Family Golf. We've got 8 really good golf pros there, so I can go to them anytime. Between them, video, and using the TrackMan, it kind of allows me to keep on my game a little bit.
Wow. Since my scoring average was, what'd you say, 78, or my lowest score, I think I need to find some more help. But realistically, when Sally was at Winghaven Country Club, we could bounce ideas off. And what I'm looking for in a teaching pro is somebody that will listen, because obviously we all know our games. So if I'm going to reach out to somebody, I need somebody that will listen and somebody that's a great communicator that can talk to me about what I already know and to help me with my swing, because obviously I don't have time to work at it and make a huge change. Therefore, I need to stick with what I have and have somebody that can communicate that with me.
I don't think I have anyone, excuse me, I don't think I have any one person in particular that I go to for help. But there's been plenty of times where the guy or lady on the range next to me, 10 minutes before my tee time, I might ask them, hey, am I doing something weird here? Because the ball's really going left. So maybe I could benefit from a little more consistent coaching, but my fellow PGA professionals are the best teachers. So I picked up more tips from pre and post round tournament play, from watching some of our professionals teach in like our PGA Hope programs. So there's really a lot of opportunity to pick up tips for me. But to Bob's point, I use video and I video myself quite a bit, so I can kind of get an understanding of what I'm doing wrong.
My answer is really easy. When I first came to the golf or the Gateway section from the Midwest, got reunited with Bobby Pavlonis, one of my best friends, and he transformed my game. So he has made more of a difference in my golf game than anybody else here. I also want to give a shout out to Gideon Smith, because every time I play with you, other than during the matches, we win. So we're going to get him this year, though, Gids. We got him this year. Also to Jeff Thornhill and TaylorMade. Without great equipment, you can't have a great game. So also shout out to TaylorMade Golf.
My answer is actually going to be a parent of mine. My mom, who's also a director of instruction for 25 years. That's who I go to for all my advice. So she's in the building tonight. So shout out, Kathy. And then I'm also going to give a shout out to Ryan Martin. He definitely helped as well with the wedges. Yes, I do hit it far, but we need to get that second shot. Is very important, Ryan. So thank you. And then also shout out to a good rep and a great friend, Jeff Thornhill, with everything he does for the section.
Well, there is a lot of good players in the Gateway sections. This is an honor to be Player of the Year. So congratulations to our Players of the Year one more time for the Gateway section. We're ahead of schedule. We're taking a break. All right. So the Gateway PGA each year awards a hard and soft goods sales representative of the year. It's the highest award that we can give a working sales rep in our area. These individuals demonstrate qualities of organization, punctuality, strong moral character, and have a very good record of service to the association to the game of golf. This award is not chosen by a committee or a board, but rather it's one of the few awards that we have that's voted on by the membership. So join me in welcoming two award winners tonight. First, our 2023 Hard Goods Sales Rep of the Year. He's a multi-year sponsor of both our Las Vegas Pro-Am and Lake Team event, as well as a frequent face of the section. Him and his company's dedication to the Gateway section is so much appreciative. And please join me in welcoming the 2023 Hard Good winner, Jeff Thornhill with TaylorMade Golf. And our soft good representative of the year is a newer face to the Gateway section and a first-time winner. Please join me in welcoming, representing Peter Millar, Jake Wall.
Good, how are you?
All right, so you guys have a tough job. You interact with golf professionals that are very busy, have crazy schedules. They're getting pulled in lots of different directions between facility, meetings, playing golf, tournaments, managing the business, the operation, and you have to somehow develop a relationship with them, also stay on top of all the needs, the wants, the communications, the emails. So, you know, knowing what you do, and I have a very much an appreciation for it because it is a hard job, and there's a lot of different people that you deal with. You know, what is something that you would want to teach or instill upon somebody new getting into the business that's going to work on your side of it, that's going to service the golf professionals throughout the country through whether it's selling clothes or soft goods, hard goods, or whatever that is?
So I would say that it's really important to know who it is that you're communicating to and how the person wants to be communicated to, being considerate of one's time, knowing kind of the day of the week, the time of the week that you're reaching out, the method of communication that person prefers. You know, our world is constantly changing. Some people prefer text, email. Some people are old school and prefer phone call. So for me, it's, you know, having been in the industry basically my entire life, it's really important to just take a step back and think about how does this person want to be communicated to, and kind of tailoring your style according to that, and being very respectful of their needs, their times. You know, if it's a private club, certainly calling ahead, never stopping in unannounced. You guys have a ton of responsibilities. Your members are your constituents and your employers. So just being sensitive to that is kind of the first thing that comes to mind for me.
Well, to piggyback, is this on? To piggyback off of you, Jeff, I would completely agree to the sense of, I mean, it's never ending for you all. PGA professionals always have something on their plate in front of them, and it's impressive to watch you all do your job day in and day out and service your membership. And to give a little bit of something that somebody would want to do would be, or if they wanted to get into our industry, would just sell yourself first. Always be honest with your customers and never lie to them. If you make a mistake, own it. I think that's the biggest thing, and I see a lot of that or hear a lot about that with some people, and it's nice to always just be upfront and honest if you do make a mistake.
So I know one thing that I do a lot of now is talk to younger individuals, and I think about that night when we just honored our junior golf player of the years that have an interest in getting in the golf business. And there's so many opportunities to get in the golf business outside of the traditional golf professional roles of facilities, you know, teachers, coaches, players, stuff like that. There's, you know, the manufacturers, the OEMs, like all the opportunities out there, like what you guys do. So it's kind of two questions. Choose which one you want to answer here. But what excites you about the golf business? Or what is it that like to get into it at the beginning, and then, but now what excites you about the golf business, and has that changed, or is it the same thing?
Yeah, really good question. I would say what excites me is just innovation, and what you see in product change year over year. Like a good example is look at like customization, what that has become on the equipment side of the business, where you can now design your own driver and get a driver head colored the way that you want and all the different shaft flavors. We have a really cool program that's turning on where we'll be able to deliver that basically in 4 business days. So for me, having a product background, that's something I'm really excited about. And then I would kind of piggyback off of that and say the thing that kind of keeps me going in the industry year over year is I think it's really important for all of us in this room. Like, we got into the golf business for a reason, and it's important to prioritize playing the game of golf and keeping that passion going. So whatever it is, your niche in the industry, whether it's teaching, playing, operations, this is our craft and kind of sharpening the saw, if you will. I think that's really important for all of us in here.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry to be that guy.
What is it that excited you to get into the golf business and what you're doing, and then what keeps you excited today? And maybe that's the same thing, maybe it's changed over the years.
No, I think a lot of it is, always growth of the game is what gets strived for with PGA, and seeing kids fall in love with the game. I get excited about working tournaments, and then if problems happen within those tournaments, it's problem solving. So that always kind of gets me going. But just the growth of the game and seeing the style trends change on our end and trying to adapt to a new market. We're based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, so it's nice to see us venturing more into the western side of the country. So it's nice to kind of see trends change and see where things go from there.
Well, there's a lot of businesses that are in the golf market, and you guys represent, well, first of all, you're 2 of the best reps at 2 of the best companies, TaylorMade and Peter Millar. So one more time, congratulations to Jeff and Jake on their award tonight. The next award of the evening is going to be our Merchandisers of the Year. So here at the Gateway section and also on a national level, every section on a national level, we recognize 3 Merchandisers of the Year. 1 at public facilities, 1 at private, and 1 at resort. These individuals have basically won this award through the materials that they submitted that show they are best in class in the operation they run at their club that is all related to the business side of the merchandise retail concession. And there's a lot of parts to that, but this, again, is a very hard thing to win because there's a lot of good competition out there for this. So for tonight, please join me in welcoming these 3 award winners. First, our Public Merchandiser of the Year from Family Golf and Learning Center, Adam Betts. Our Private Merchandiser of the Year, please welcome from the Country Club of St. Albans, Kurt Goss. And for our resort winner, a 2-time winner, please welcome from Margaritaville Lake Resort, Andy Taylor. So I haven't done the buying in a long time in my facility, but I know there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that goes into the merchandise, the retail concession, and it's hard. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of details. It's a lot of follow-up, working, again, managing all the other parts of your job. I know for me, I always dreaded buying hats, all the logos, the colors, the placement of the logos. It just drove me nuts, but that's just one of many little details that you all deal with. So, when you look at the retail side of it, the merchandising, tell me, and I have to ask both, what's your favorite part about this side of the business, but also what is your least favorite part of managing the retail operation?
there's nothing I don't like about buying. It's like Christmas every day. You know, the hardest part is not buying everything I like. It's buying what other people like, and which sometimes I'm thinking, really? But, you know, I absolutely love buying. I have no problem spending my time. I have no problem coming in on a day off to meet with a sales rep. It doesn't matter to me. The thing that's been tough lately is the cost of merchandise. Things have gone up so much, and trying to hit a budget and trying to meet everything you possibly can to make sure you stay in your numbers and you stay in your budget. And it's about planning early and making sure all that is done appropriately, that you hit every possible margin you can. That's mine. The lake is different. And no offense, ladies, by any means, because I am a lady, kind of. But at my club, the hardest part is our ladies only want to buy everything that goes on sale. They want it the cheapest price, the possible price. I came from another course that wasn't that way. So trying to go from one facility to another and make it work is tough. That's the hardest part for me.
I appreciate the breaking the ice with ladies apparel. I won't piggyback off of it. I actually enjoy it, just like yourself. I love meeting with sales reps. I look forward to seeing the new product, new equipment. Right now, we're getting a peek at it. It's like a puzzle to me. For others, it's putting a tournament together. But I can't wait to see new product, knowing that I'm going to build something for the shop, and then I have to wait 5, 6, 7 months before I get it. Headwear, yes, as you said, Nathan, the headwear can be a pain because you're trying to guess what's going to sell, how goofy can I get? Can I buy 36 high crown visors with the dancing SA and Leaf logo all over it, and we have to sell 27 of them at cost? That was a bad purchase. But again, I really enjoy putting it together. I would say the tough part is juggling the pre-books and seeing do we have room for it, or has something slowed down in the shop, and do I have to cut something back? We have a couple great sales reps in here with Dave, Jeff, and Jake, and you guys get hounded by me constantly. I beat you guys up. But yeah, it can be tough to navigate what do I change quickly, and did I cancel it before it went to embroidery? So, but I do enjoy putting all the apparel together, so much so that I've had sales reps actually meet me at my house to show me product, because that was the only thing we could do. So,
nice answer there. Adam Betts from Family Golf. I think the biggest challenge for us at Family Golf was learning our customer. You know, we're new 6 years. We have a very unique facility that's different than most of the buyers in our section, the country clubs, and the public 18-hole facilities. So we've been just constantly trying to learn our customer and see what their buying trends are. And, you know, the buying trends throughout the golf industry are changing. It's more of a lot more lifestyle pieces. It's not just your buttoned up collared shirts and your khaki shorts anymore. So, you know, looking at trends and looking, you know, how the industry is changing, and also, you know, what our specific customer wants, which our buyer's a little unique, is always a challenge. And then, you know, minimums, those are hard. You know, you got to buy 48 of them and you only want 12. It makes it difficult sometimes, but it's a lot of fun trying to figure it out.
So, Adam, you talked about the industry, and the industry is changing. And ironically, it's changing at many levels. But last year, we had more associates sign up for the PGA program than we have in 20 years. Almost 2,000 signed up, which is awesome. But when you look at that and you look at how much retail is playing a role now, it's becoming more of a specific target for people to focus their career on. So, in playing off of that, what's something that you would, you know, you're all successful in this side of the business. So what's something you would train a new buyer, somebody getting in the industry, you've got to do? I've learned this, and you've got to do this to be successful at managing retail operations.
I think you just got to give them the reins. You need to teach them, the lessons that you learned through whether it was the mistakes or the successes that you had in your buying in the past. So, you give them the reins. We've got a great team at Family Golf and Learning Center. Blake, Liam, and Jordan on the hard goods side. Great with our buying, and they have a lot of autonomy to do that. And so just handing over the reins, giving them the opportunity to fail, succeed, and learn on their own, will serve them well as their career continues to grow.
Yeah, I agree totally, Adam. It's good to let them embrace it, listen to your members, your customers, sit back, suck it all up, and get to absorb as much as you can from a mentor. I would hope that right now I'm kind of mentoring one of our new assistants, and hopefully he's sitting back listening. He asked plenty of questions. He's shaking his head, but you asked plenty of questions, Adam, and I appreciate it. Just like when Joe gave it to me 8 years ago. Even though I had some merchandise experience, I still continued to bug him for a year until he basically said, just run with it. Now I very seldom ask Joe questions. But I still look at the shop like it's my own. It's not my money. It's the members' money. But if that stuff's not selling, we're going to be in trouble. But I really embrace it. So I tell anybody that's going to handle merchandise, use social media, embrace it, listen, do whatever it takes, and then don't be afraid to take a couple of risks. Throw some stuff in there. Our golf shop 10 years ago when I came to St. Albans didn't have a lot of pink in it. I tend to wear a lot of pink. And that golf shop sells a lot of pink this day and age. And so it worked out, and I enjoy it. So just take some risk and enjoy the ride.
I really feel like one of those juniors up here because I hate speaking. To me, you've got to trust yourself. You got to take some risks. You've got to do what you think will work. And I try to look for everything different than somebody else is carrying at the lake. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not doing my job, and I'm not putting myself out there. But I believe I try to find something different and take risks. Do they always end up right? No. You're going to fail. I spent my whole life failing. I've spent my whole life succeeding, but there's a failure and there's a risk at everything you do. And you don't live your life unless you do that. So that's how I feel.
Well, obviously, you are up here for a reason. Congratulations, well deserved, and congratulations again to our merchandisers of the year for the Gateway section.
Can I say one more thing? My uncle was a buyer at CC Mo many, many years ago. And Scott Best was probably his best friend. So that is very important to me tonight. The most important thing.
Next up, we have our Bill Strausball Award and also our Professional Development Award. The Bill Strausball Award is designed to recognize a PGA professional who, by their efforts, has distinguished themselves as a mentor to fellow PGA golf professionals by improving their employment situation, and there's also a service to the community component. Deserving recipients demonstrate exceptional level of service to their section, their association, leadership, and contributions to building and growing the game and the image, most importantly, the image of golf professionals in the community and our association. The Professional Development Award recognizes our model educator. Golf professional, it's designed to give special recognition to an individual for their involvement in education programs, both locally and nationally, to better
our association, and our members as it looks at our workforce and what we do in the communities. Tonight, winning our 2023 Bill Strausbaugh Award, please join me in welcoming from Osage National Golf Club, Larry Salzman. And our 2023 Professional Development Award from Westboro Country Club. Congratulations, Jeffrey Field. So when I read this award, there's a few words that stand out to me, and again, I'm looking at it now. I see mentor, service, leadership, community, educator. And arguably some of the most important things that we do right now for our association and our fellow golf professionals. So what is it that motivates you two to be leaders in this area, but specifically motivates you to be leaders to help and inspire other golf professionals?
Yeah, I think for me, it's I definitely want to leave the business in a better place than when I came in. And the golf business has come a long way in the time that it's been around. And I just want to have an impact on it, from the golf services staff that I have to the associates and assistants that I have, and then the members in the section from an educational standpoint, and just try and leave it in a better place.
What excites me, I'll piggyback exactly what Jeff said as far as trying to leave the industry in a better place. But I feel like I try to do it by, it's going to sound funny, but chasing happiness. And what I mean by that is we all do that. We all try to further our careers. We're all trying to be better people. But when you chase happiness, I see a lot of people here in this crowd right now that are they're calling. There's jobs, there's careers, and there's callings. There's a room full of people that are doing their calling in life right now. And if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. I watch guys stand on the lesson tee for 8 hours, and if you tell me you're doing it for the money, I'll laugh at you, because you're doing it because you get to watch Mrs. Haverkamp hit the ball in the air for the first time ever, and you go, oh my God, the light bulb went on in her head, and that was amazing. And that's why you're out there teaching. I don't do that. I don't teach 8 hours a day, but I get to affect an associate or help a peer through a situation, or I get to watch people in this room in my area do the things that they're good at. I work with Ryan Mansell. He's one of the best general managers I've ever seen. You know, there's all kinds of people doing what they love, and they are so good at it. It's like watching Picasso paint a picture. And that's what excites me, is helping people reach their potential, reach their dream. I told the committee that Shane Blankenship's my poster child for that, because I got him to come to Osage National where he can teach 8 hours a day and do what he loves. And I see it. I see it in him. I see it in his eyes when he's out there. We have crazy conversations about teaching that I don't need to know, to be honest with you. But he loves it. And that's, if you give happiness out, it's one of the only things you're ever going to get double back. And that's what excites me.
Yeah, so what you guys do through education and mentorship is you inspire other people. So, and maybe it's the same answer you just gave, or maybe slightly connected. What inspired you to be leaders in this part? Like what inspires you? What inspired you to start doing it, and what keeps pushing you to be leaders specifically in education and mentorship and helping your fellow golf professional?
For me, it's going to be a strange answer. I was actually, I'm on my local school board, and believe it or not, a school district is not that much different than a golf course. When you see behind the curtain, the ugly curtain of Oz is what I call it. Golf courses have it. You know, what our guests see and what our members see is not what actually always goes on behind the curtain. But getting to see people in a totally different light that are also doing what they're called to do. Teachers don't teach for the money most of the time. But if you do what you love, you can build. And seeing those people and what they do and what they put into it, is really what kind of inspired me to say, wow, they're dedicating their life to the betterment of those kids. And so I try to do that and pass it along and leave the golf industry in a better light than what I found it to better the people around me.
Yeah, for me, it was, I first came to this section as an intern in 1996 and then full-time in 2000. And for me, it was trying to keep my eyes open on the professionals in this section that were involved and active in doing things, whether it was playing, teaching, at the board level. Keep my eyes on them, and that's who I wanted to tailor myself around. Some are in this room this evening. Some are no longer with us, but those are the people that I wanted to keep my eye on. And then once I was elected to membership, I wanted to try and be that person that they were keeping their eye on. We walk through this industry with a servant's heart, whether we acknowledge it or not. We are servants each and every day at our place of business, whether it's green grass, retail, wherever you're at. Golf professional is a servant heart, and we have to carry that as a badge of honor and be proud of it, but also walk very humbly as we do it.
Yeah, so one more question for you guys. And we said earlier about the industry is changing. You're going to hear about it tomorrow and over the coming months. The industry is changing. The business is changing. The model's changing. Education's changing. Work-life balance is changing. Since the pandemic, most facilities have never been busier and never been more short-staffed, so they're readjusting what they do. So what do you two think that we as golf professionals need to pivot on to be able to stay up or stay in front of these changing times?
Yeah, for me, it is definitely how the PGA of America is educating the associates and assistants right now. If we as a collective group try to do it the old school way or the business school method or the golf professional training program and the stack of books that I had to work on, if we want to mentor our associates in that manner, we're going to do them a major, major disservice. It's our responsibility to keep up with what the PGA of America is doing and educating these youth and these young adults, whether it's if they're working at the green grass on their own or if they're at these golf management program universities. That's how we need to start adapting how we train them and mentor them in this business.
That's a great answer. Basically, I think we're on the right track. I think designating ourselves away from the PGA Tour, because it does come up. I mean, many times they'll say, you tell somebody you're a PGA golf professional, they ask you if you played with Tiger Woods. They don't understand what we do. And I think sometimes that draws people into the industry that are not in it for the right reasons. All of the players of the years were up here before, and they were talking about how they have to make time to play. I think that's one misnomer that everybody thinks that that's all we do is play and hold up the counter, have some donuts and coffee in the morning, and that couldn't be really farther from the truth. And I think that some of the best advice, and now I'm drawing a blank because I'm nervous, was I cannot think of the gentleman's name. He was here, and he was the president of the PGA a couple years ago. But he made the comment, "Be where your feet are," and that's the best advice I think we could pass along to people in this room, to the next generation. Be where your feet are. If you're home, be home. If you're at work, be at work. But you've got to find that balance somehow, some way. And it's just kind of opening, I think, some of the new generation's eyes that this is a calling. If you're going to be a good golf professional and you're going to do it, it's your calling. You don't go into it for the money. Money will come in the long run. You'll work your way up doing what you love, and that's in any industry, I believe. You'll find the money in the long run, but come and be a golf professional because you want to.
Well, and you bring up an interesting point, and I won't go into too many details, but we do want to differentiate ourselves from the tour, right? Especially now, and we're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow with the new logo and the branding of the PGA of America, because the tour is a great partner, but it is important for us to highlight PGA of America, our members, our mission, and what we're trying to do for our association. So these are two of the best awards that we have, and these are really high achievements for these individuals. So congratulations again to our two award winners tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you. You guys are moving it on me on which way you're going.
You're down to single people. We're going to steal your chair.
Are we down to single?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. That's my time check.
Thank you, bud.
How was dinner? Was it good? It looks good.
Two mics, yeah, take that one.
Well, I hope dinner was good. Allie Wells didn't tell me when she asked me this that I didn't get to eat, but it did look great. I hope everybody enjoyed the meal. How about another round of applause for the staff here at Old Hickory? It is not easy feeding this many people, so thank you, Old Hickory. Next up, we're going to recognize 3 awards, but just one person. Player Development, Youth Player Development, and our Teacher and Coach of the Year. The Player Development Award recognizes a PGA member who has displayed extraordinary contributions and achievement to player development, which would basically be growth of the game, leadership, commitment, and programs at the section at their facility. Our Youth Player Development Award recognizes a PGA professional who's a leader in junior golf and who reflects the ideals that work with youth and promote youth in the community. Again, both at their facilities and in the community, maybe even the Gateway Junior Tour. The winner of this award also possesses a desire to positively impact youth in the community. Our Teacher of the Year is designed to recognize a PGA professional with an outstanding leadership among the Gateway membership as it relates to teaching. The professional's overall performance in teaching using innovative special teaching techniques, articles published, as well as outstanding golfers that he or she has coached. So winning all 3 of these awards tonight, which that in and of itself is quite the feat, but winning all 3 of these awards for the first time each, please welcome from Family Golf and Learning Center, Blake Sharamatero.
This is Izzy. She demanded she came up here, so.
All right, so they've got me on a really tight schedule, and I appreciate you winning 3 awards to keep me, because I'm a few minutes behind here. So teaching, coaching, player development, all these awards are connected into what you do day in and day out at Family Golf and Learning Center. But before we go there, just, tell me, how did you get into the golf business and where is your interest? Where did it come from for teaching?
It's funny. I worked at golf courses caddying around St. Louis when I was younger. I caddied in college in Denver. Worked for Kevin Triefenbach at Tapawingo in college, but in the summer. But never really planned on being in the golf business. I went to school for finance and sort of always planned on going that route. I graduated college in 2008. The economy was doing terribly, and in my profession that I was looking to get into, there was basically no jobs. So a college teammate of mine offered me to come work at a golf course in Portland, Oregon, and went up there and kind of started my full-time career in the golf business. So that was a big part of it. And, it started raining that fall in Portland, and it rained for about 35 straight days. I ended up going back to Denver and really starting my career there. But, just in general, being around the game and being at a golf course every day, I started to love it more and more and more. And here we are today.
So tell me what motivates you or excites you to better your education and to better serve your customers through the teaching side of the business.
A couple things. One is just, as many instructors probably agree with me, just seeing our students set goals, meet goals, reach goals. The joy this game brings a lot of people. For me to be a part of that is awesome, whether it's kids, adults, whoever. Being a part of their golf journey is really important for me, and it gets me very much motivated every day when I go to work. But also being at Family Golf, we have so many pros and so many people doing great things. Watching some of the lessons they do and just different things that our instructors do, it's fun to be around, and it motivates me and probably them as well to be the best instructor we possibly can.
So you mentioned Family Golf, which leads into my next question. I think there are 8
PGA, LPGA professionals at Family Golf and Learning Center. I believe that's the most of any facility in the Gateway section. For many years, I think it was probably Bell Reeve. Mike Tucker's here tonight. They have a lot of golf professionals there. But, I mean, tell me what that's like. I mean, I know you all compete, and a lot of good players, too. So you all compete on the golf course. But day in and day out, what's the culture like? Do you compete? Do you push each other to improve your skills? Do you fight each other for students? Or just give me a day in the life at Family Golf and Learning Center with so many really good teachers and really good players.
We basically just arm wrestle for new students. So my left forearm is getting huge. No, I'm just kidding. You know, we definitely at times have multiple instructors who teach the same student. We toss a lot of ideas off each other. It's not uncommon for myself to go up to Rob or Adam or Bob or JR or whoever and so here's what I'm doing with this student. What do you think about it? You know, is there another route you think that might be best? And they do the same thing with me. And it's really cool to be able to kind of create the best product we possibly can as instructors. And doing that, we have so much help and so many people around, kind of like BG said on the playing side. Like I've asked those guys for help with my swing and help with other students. I mean, it's pretty cool to be around it. And we definitely motivate each other all day long.
So the most important question of the night, and this one's for Izzy, because you referenced all these great teachers. Who is the best teacher at Family Golf and Learning Center?
Daddy.
I was hoping she'd say that.
I was hoping it too. So, well, again, I've been here for 20 years and I've never seen it. Congratulations for all 3 awards: player development, youth player development, and our teacher and coach of the year. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Allie, I think we're back on time now. You good? Okay. Next, we are going to shift, and if you're keeping track, I think we have 4 more awards to go through tonight. But next, we're going to do our Assistant Golf Professional of the Year. Gateway PGA Assistant Golf Professional of the Year is the highest honor the association can bestow upon a working PGA Assistant Golf Professional, and it involves their total contributions and exemplifies the complete role of a PGA golf professional. The award embraces a wide range of service by the assistant and honors outstanding overall performance in their duties and service to the section, the association, leadership, but also their ability to inspire other golf professionals and the promotion and the growth of the game of golf. Please help me welcome our 2023 PGA Assistant Golf Professional of the Year from St. Louis Country Club, Jordan McKelvey. All right, so you are somewhat newer to the section. So give us just a quick introduction. You know, who are you, where you're from, your background, why'd you get into golf? Just a little bit about Jordan.
Certainly. So my name is Jordan McKelvey. I'm born and raised in Mount Vernon, Illinois. I had a golf club in by the age of 2, so it's always kind of been a passion of mine. I grew up in your golf tournaments all throughout high school. Graduated in 2009 and went on to Mississippi State University. Attended the professional golf program there. While in school, I had 3 internships I did. I did my first one at Wichita Country Club, my second one at Limestone Springs Golf Club in Oneonta, Alabama, and then my third one at Sawgrass Country Club in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Also, while I was there, I was able, or I assisted with the merchandising in the Players Championship, and then assisted with the merchandising at the U.S. Open at Marion Golf Club. After I graduated in 2013 at Mississippi State, I took my first assistant job at Rolling Hills Country Club in Wichita, Kansas, and was there from 2014 to 2019, and which led me to here at St. Louis Country Club to take on the lead assistant professional job at here in 2019, and I've been here since. So,
Awesome. That's quite the resume you're creating there. So, and I mentioned earlier, it's there's a lot of people getting into the business, and you're in the early stages of your career. And again, 1,900 signed up for the associates program last year. As you look at getting into the business, the next generation of golf professionals, what excites you the most? And before you answer that, it's a great time right now to be in your shoes. There's a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of facilities that need help. Opportunities are greater, compensation's up. So it's really a good time. It's probably the best time in a long time to be in this industry. So, you know, again, circling back to it, what excites you about the golf business? Is it the opportunities? Is it something else about the business? Or is it something completely different of where you want to go down the road?
You know, one of the things that excites me the most about the golf business is actually teaching. I've established a lot of cool relationships, not just with juniors, but you know, also adults as well. Whenever they come for me to golf lesson, I'm always happy to help. And you know, where the game's going right now, there's a lot of players of all ages that are looking to get into the game, and it's our job as PGA professionals to help them out and get better. So with that being said, I would like to, you know, get a little more knowledge in that area, and maybe look at becoming a teacher.
Well, if you've got a lot of individuals in the Gateway section that absolutely help you with that, becoming a better teacher, if that's where you want to go as you kind of choose your career path. You know, speaking of that, role models. You know, tell us again, new to the industry. Give us an example of a role model, but more importantly, not the person, but what have you learned from that role model that you want to share with others as you grow in this industry and you eventually are mentoring role models as well?
Sure. So I've been fortunate to work for a lot of great golf professionals throughout my career. But the one that's helped me out where I am now, and that means a lot to me, is he's helped me become, I feel, more self-confident, which is helped me not only in my personal life, but also in my professional life. And one of the things that's also helped me out is in my golf game, which has always been something I've struggled with, but you know, it's definitely made an impact in that.
Yeah. Well, winning this award is quite the honor. And your name is on a list of some pretty amazing golf professionals from the Gateway section. So with that in mind, this is your moment to shine here. Anything you'd like to conclude with before we go on?
I just would like to thank a lot of my friends who've came to support me for tonight. I'd also like to thank my coworkers and also my mentors. But most importantly, I'd like to thank my wife, Lucy Diaz, for supporting me in all the hours I put in, and the weekends I have to miss to spend time, not able to spend time with her. So.
Well, Mr. Masson, you might have a hard time keeping him at St. Louis Country Club after tonight. So congratulations to our Assistant Golf Professional of the Year, Jordan, from St. Louis Country Club. All right, so at this time, I'd like to invite up the Gateway PGA Section's honorary past president, Brett Moomey. Tonight, we have the privilege of inducting two of our members into the Gateway PGA Hall of Fame. Brett chaired that process as past president, so we're going to invite him up to stage to talk a little bit about that and recognize two Hall of Famers.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I've spoken in this room a lot, but never from this angle, so it's kind of like a new room. As Nathan said, my name is Brett Moomey. I have the pleasure of being the honorary past president of the Gateway section, and part of that duty is to serve as the Hall of Fame Committee chair, which we undertake every 2 years, of electing Gateway PGA members to our Hall of Fame. Currently, with our two inductees tonight, we have 24 members of the Gateway PGA and its long history to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Our selection process begins with nominations from our PGA members, and our committee reviews those nominations with the guidelines set for our Hall of Fame members. I'd like to thank my fellow committee members Hall of Fame members Mike Murphy, Steve Heckel, and Richard Poe, Gateway past president Russ Ludloff, and our current vice president and golf professional of the year, Mr. Gideon Smith, as well as our Gateway PGA members who submitted nominations this year. Guidelines that we take place that we have in effect for our nominees include being a 10 consecutive year member of the Gateway PGA, being a 25 plus year member of the PGA of America, their service to the section and the association nationally, their teaching and playing accomplishments, the mentoring of fellow golf professionals, and every 2 years we have the ability to nominate or to elect 2 inductees, 1 active and 1 posthumously. It is my honor to induct the 2 highly regarded members of our section and 2 individuals who I'm very honored to wear the same logo as this evening. Our first inductee is Scott Bess. Scott was nominated by Paul Leahy and Barbara Blanchard. Mr. Bess was highly regarded as a player, and his accomplishments on the golf course speak for themselves. He won tournaments spanning 7 decades, beginning in 1956 and concluding in 2019. Just let that sink in a little bit. He competed in 5 PGA championships, 4 senior PGA championships, 6 PGA professional championships, and 6 senior PGA professional championships. Some of his victories included 3 Missouri high school state championships, a Missouri amateur win, 3 section championships, and 5 senior section championships. He was the low club professional at the 1998 PGA Championship at Shoal Creek, and he won the section and senior section championships in the Gateway section in 2004, the first to ever accomplish this feat. He was inducted into the Missouri Golf Hall of Fame in 2015. I had the privilege of watching Scott's golf game up close in person as a young golf professional. We used to intermix our divisions a lot more often than we do now, and I had the pleasure of playing with Scott a number of times. His effortless, slow, smooth-tempoed swing was the polar opposite of mine, and I know that anytime my swing gets out of whack, I can reference those memories of Scott's swing to bring me back out of sorts. Scott's career made him a staple of the Columbia golf community. He was a Columbia native and attended Mizzou, where he received all Big 8 honors in 1969 and 1971. He served Columbia Country Club as an assistant professional, a head professional, and a general manager. He worked with the Columbia Golf Foundation throughout, a junior golf instructor, a mentor to countless players and professionals, and he modified and collected hundreds of golf clubs that he gave to local junior golfers who needed them. Scott had a passion for golf clubs and for cars. He worked for Wilson, Cleveland, Odyssey, and Callaway, and he worked on clubs for Corey Pavin and Ben Crenshaw in 1995 to help them win the U.S. Open and the Masters tournament. Scott passed away on June 4th, 2020, and is missed by many of us here in the Gateway PGA. I can imagine the storytelling in heaven only got better the day that Scott passed, because he was a true pro at telling stories. I'd like to thank Scott's family and friends for joining us tonight. Please enjoy this video as we honor Scott Bess.
There's just not many people that have accomplished what he has accomplished in the Gateway PGA section. To see him, what is it, that he is the senior section champion and the regular section champion in the same year. To see him play on the tour, to see him be a club maker, to see him give back to the community, to volunteer his time with the Columbia Golf Foundation, to volunteer his time to teach golf to others, to share his love of the game. It just, to me, golf is who he is. Golf is who he was.
He was originally born in St. Louis, but they came back to Columbia immediately. And his father had built a little California bungalow-style house right off the green of Columbia Country Club. There, he was 50 feet from the golf course, and his mother was actually the golfer of the family, and quite good from what I've been told. And she taught him how to play the game. Scott was more seen rather than heard, so he had a lot of free time. And once he picked up golf, he pretty much lived at the golf course. We would joke that he was raised at the golf course. And he quickly became good at it. And when he got older, he would often park his Camaro up by the practice green and hit balls at night because that's what he loved to do. Well, I found letters that he was a certified McGregor and Wilson club repair technician at the age of like 15. And so I think his dad loaned him the money to buy some startup equipment. And from the age of 15 on, he was tinkering. And as I've shown you some of his clubs in various stages, he had his own line of woods that he sold locally. And he was always tinkering with his equipment. Anybody that knows him knows he had a roll of lead tape in his bag. It really spiked when he had that chance meeting with Roger Cleveland. And he met Roger and sparks flew. They spoke each other's golf club language like no other. And that was mid-80s, maybe 86. And shortly after that, he was working for Cleveland Golf. And he and Roger were like peas and carrots together. And it never stopped. Roger was here in Columbia just months before he died visiting. And they were always working together on stuff, casually or professionally. I think my dad played section events with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Being in Columbia, most section events were on a Monday. He didn't like to spend the money on a hotel, so he would drive up Monday, which usually meant leaving around 4:30. So he would do his pre-match of McDonald's at Winsville, arrive at the event, warm up, play, come home. And over the course of decades, it kind of bothered him that if they had a section event outside of St. Louis or wanted to have one in Columbia, he perceived it as some of those guys whining that they had to travel. And he would be like, guys, I have to travel every week to play in these events. And you guys won't even come down here once. And so in a, not an angry way, he kind of took that as a slight. And so when he would play in some section events, he would amp himself up a little bit more for it because he would think about, they won't come down here and play, so I'm going to go up there and win.
Well, you know, it was interesting. Scott Bess has been worthy of being in the Hall of Fame for years. I know his family really wished that he would have been nominated before he passed. And he was just always been so deserving between being a player, being a mentor, being a club fitter, being on tour, being in the Gateway PGA section. Was it all his life? Like, unbelievable. I mean, like, what a better place to be. You know, he's in the Missouri Hall of Fame. He's in the Columbia Golf Hall of Fame. So I just knew that he had the credentials. So to be honest, I had to look up a bunch of stuff, you know. So I Googled him and said, holy cow, he did all of this. Of course he's should be in the Hall of Fame. And yeah, definitely well-deserved.
So when Barbie called me, I was like, wow, okay. I had no idea. I thought he was in this already. So yeah, it was a pleasant surprise, bittersweet. I think he would have gotten a kick out of going up there and seeing some of the guys and gals and talking about the days of old. It's way overdue. You earned it. You deserved it. It's something that you should be proud of. All you've given to the sport, all you've given to people that play the sport, and what you've passed on to your children and grandchildren has benefited us in more ways than you'll ever know. Congratulations. We miss you. But you're here every day. And Mary and myself and everybody else know that. And I just hope you're with your mom and dad out on the course.
Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Gateway PGA Hall of Fame, Scott Bess. Here to accept his award, his son, Chris Bess.
All right. So, pretty cool video. Thank you for Gateway PGA staff for putting that together. Pretty special. So your dad was a PGA member. He became a PGA member in 1978, Chris. And he was the stereotypical old school golf pro. He's a player, teacher, club maker, which that's pretty cool, by the way. That doesn't really exist very much anymore. But growing up with your dad, did you know how special he was and what he was doing in the golf industry at the time, or was he just dad?
That's an interesting question. A lot of people were confused by us. We were more like brothers. He was 20 when he married my mom. His parents had to sign for him to get married. They had had a whirlwind love affair. And I came along at the worst time. I swam through rubber. I swam through poison. And I was treated as the flu for 3 weeks. And if it had been Soviet Russia, I would be sitting here as the most decorated swimmer of all time. But we treated each other like brothers because our age was so compact. And a lot of people didn't understand that. I had a teacher in high school that he had. And when we were on the range together, it was awful. He was a 1-plane or a 2-plane swinger. I was a 1-plane swinger. Lots of F-bombs, club throwing, screaming. People would come watch us because they knew they were going to get a show. And I knew he was famous, not on the macro, but anytime we went anywhere in Columbia, it would take an hour to 2. People would stop him in the grocery store for lessons. They would say, I have a broken 4-iron in the back of the car. Would you mind taking it with you? And also, can I have it tomorrow by noon? I'm playing. We would get Izod shipments when he was on tour and have coordinated outfits. So from like kindergarten to 2nd grade, I was the best dressed kid in the world. But I learned that fame was mostly luck. I met so many famous people early and saw things that I'm not going to repeat, that it kind of kept me humble. And the one major takeaway is people are a lot shorter than you think when you meet them. My dad was different in that he was so focused on golf when I was early. There were things he wouldn't do because he was always worried about being injured. So we never threw a football, no matter what, because Payne Stewart broke his finger once at a barbecue and he missed an event. But everything else, it was so competitive, and he showed no mercy. I didn't beat him in ping pong till I was about 20. I never beat him at pool. I beat him in golf twice, and he was mad both times. He was very violent on the basketball court. His mother would try to talk to him and say, why don't you let him? And nope, no mercy.
So he was just dad, is what you're saying, right?
He was an old school dad.
That's
and
right.
We confused a lot of, if we could have a podcast today, we would be rich.
That's funny. So watching the video, and I'm looking at the resume here. I'm going to read a few things, and this is just a little bit. Okay, so let this soak in. Your dad was on 2 PGA Cup teams. That means he qualified. He was one of the best golf professionals in the country to represent the United States of America in our Ryder Cup matches against PGA of Great Britain and Ireland. That's a pretty big deal. Multiple Hall of Fames, played on the tour, 5 PGA championships, 4 senior PGA championships, involved in the Columbia Golf Foundation, has won almost every award the PGA offers. So with all of that, and there's a lot more, what do you think would be your dad's most proud PGA moment, and why?
He finished 2nd at the Disney World. I don't know if it was the Disney World Invitational but it was a team event, and he finished 2nd to Crenshaw, and he won like $10,500, which was game changing for us at the time. His year on the tour in '79 would probably be his most memorable. He played with, we'll talk about this more in a bit, but he played with Nicholas in a major. But I'm going to be very selfish here and say that one of his favorite golf memories was I was senior in high school, and we were having the stereotypical cats in the cradle dad relationship about golf. And he convinced me to play in the Show Me State games with him, an alternate shot. It was modified alternate shot, and I didn't want to do it. And he sold me on it because it was at A. Augustin, and that is the greatest golf course on the planet. And I'll fight anybody in here. And we shot like 7 under and won by like 10. And I was so mad when it was over. And he's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I said, "We left like 7 shots out there." And he was like, "That's not how this works, life works." And I said, "If we can't play better than this, I don't want to do it again." And we played the next year and we did the same thing. And I don't know if we shot a little better or not, but I enjoyed it more. But I've never seen him smile like that. And he had those 2 Show Me Game medals. And when he passed away, he had a little drawer by his bed. There's like a gun, a box of bullets, 2 Show Me State medals, and an Easy Go golf key I'd stolen for him to use on tour. And those 2 medals, the fact that he kept those by his bed, that was like the happiest he ever was playing golf, because it wasn't for money. There was no pressure. He knew we were going to win, even though I didn't know we were going to win. And I took it too seriously. And I think he was seeing his younger self in me and was getting a kick out of what a arse I was being, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, that's pretty special, and I completely understand why that would be important to you and your dad. My dad was a PGA golf professional as well, so we share a lot of memories as well, and on the golf course and around that. And I do believe that would be more important to him, to my father, than some of the other maybe more crowning achievements versus the time with father and son. So shifting a little bit here, I understand that you're sharing a little bit of your father's legacy by providing golf clubs to people in leagues. So what does that mean to you to be able to share a little bit of dad with golfers from all over the world?
When he passed, some of you in this room have been fortunate enough to see the basement. Others have heard about it, but he had about 5,000 golf clubs spanning almost 100 years and various stages of condition. But there were also lots of prototypes, lots of tour-specific made clubs, and this was all pre-internet, pre-computer. And what a lot of people didn't know is when he was working with Roger on tour, they would ship stuff to Columbia. He would put together Crenshaw's wedges or Annika's stuff and then take it with him to the event. And that basement was like an epicenter for golf. And then they didn't have tracking. So you're a player, you need a new driver. He makes you 6. You pick out 1. Now we've got 5. Well, his toilet breaks. His plumber's a left-handed golfer. Toilet's fixed for free. But over 30 years, that stuff adds up. So when he died, there was like 5,000 clubs. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. So I had to rent a moving van and bring it over to my house, sort it. And then I started testing the waters on eBay. My wife was just like, "You're wasting your time." And then one day we woke up and we thought the house was on fire. It started dinging. And one thing I did was I made sure any club we sold, we gave money to Feeding America and the local Humane Society. And then there's lots of clubs that we're never going to sell. We donated those to the Golf Foundation in town and this and that, and gave a lot of things away. I gave his pool table to the Boys and Girls Home and inadvertently gave his ping pong table to a frat house, so that's already destroyed. And then he had a locked closet in his basement with the good stuff. And the funny thing was he had 2 Scotty Cameron prototype putters that he thought were worth a lot of money. And it turned out they were failed designs, and they weren't. But by his bed, he had a putter that said Scott Cameron. And so I was talking to this guy, and I said, "I've got this
name putter. And the guy said, I think you're really stupid. And I said, oh, okay. And he said, when Scott Cameron started making putters in his garage, he went by Scott, not Scotty. And he goes, there's about 50 of those, and you're sitting on one, and you don't even know it. And so I FedExed it to him and paid off my daughter's soccer injuries, my back injuries, and had a nice steak dinner on that one.
So, Chris, I enjoyed talking with you a little bit earlier tonight, and I would love for you to share the story, a little bit about the 1979 PGA Championship and something about maybe a special babysitter that you had.
Let me set that up for you. My dad briefly was the Columbia College golf coach around that same time, and he had a player on the team named Paul Niedermeyer, and he went by the name Paco. And as a 6-year-old, I was told Paco was Hispanic. And I bonded with Paco. And he sent me an email, and he said, the PGA Championship at Oakland Hills in Birmingham, Scott had played the first 2 days well enough to make the cut, right on the number, and we were pretty excited that we would be competing on Saturday. And if we played well, we'd make a good check. Well, the Saturday pairings were announced, and lo and behold, he was paired with Nicholas and Ed Sneed. So that was their threesome, out early on a Saturday morning at the PGA. Paco says, the summer just kept getting better. They had played in some events in Canada, and my dad was on McGregor's staff, so Nicholas was on McGregor's staff, so they had played some practice rounds together. They played some cash games together and really had a magical summer. And Paco wasn't a caddy. And if you had the misfortune of caddying for my dad, that's a disaster. Something changed in him. But Angelo took Paco under his wing and helped him. And on the 18th hole, Paco says he got to walk. He wormed his way up next to Nicholas, so he got to walk up the 18th hole with Nicholas. Before I tell the story, at my dad's funeral, this old white-haired white guy with a mustache walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Paul." And I said, "Great, I'm Chris." And he goes, "It's me, Paco." And I'm like, no, Paco's Hispanic. And he's like, "I'm not Hispanic, I'm from like Iowa." And I'm like, my whole life has been a lie. And I would ask my dad, like, "How's Paco? Did he go back to Mexico? Is he okay?" And my dad would be like, "Yeah, Paco's doing great." And at his funeral, I'm like, this guy, he was like a golf coach in Iowa and a school teacher. He's been fine the whole time. I've worried my whole life about Paco, and Paco was doing great. But at that major, my dad's out with Nicholas. My mom is on they'd send the wives off course and take them to visit sites and shop. And I had a babysitter, and they dropped me off at like a trailer park. And we walked to McDonald's, and it was hot, and I was not having it. And so when we got parallel to the course, I bolted and ran onto the course and found my dad's group and ran out onto the green and called his name and just burst into tears. And my dad looks up from putting, and he's like, what's happening? And so the tour official put me in a cart, and they drove me to the players' lounge. And they asked this old man at the bar if he would keep an eye on me so they could go get my mother. And the old man said sure, and asked if I wanted a Coke. And so I said sure. So he bought me a Coke and sat with me for about an hour. And then they brought my mom back. And I said, "Mom, this old man's been buying me Cokes. Is that okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's fine." And about another hour goes by, the doors open up from the locker room coming into the players' lounge. And there's my dad side by side with Nicholas. And I stand up and I scream, "Oh my God, it's Jack Nicklaus." And everybody in the room loses it. And the old man has got both hands on his head with his head down, and they're all laughing at him. And it was Palmer. He had been babysitting me for about an hour. No clue. I apologized about 20 years later. But he was a good sport about the whole thing.
Well, I tell you, I got to know your dad a little bit when I moved here from Indiana, and I agree with whoever said it on the video, and maybe it was Barbara, that it would have been great for this to happen when he was alive, and sad that it wasn't. But thank you both for being here to recognize him into this Hall of Fame, and any closing comments you'd like to make.
I do.
before
This
we
is
move
my
on.
one shot. So I actually sat at the computer last night and did a little typing. First, let me say on behalf of Mary and the rest of Scott's family for this honor and personally allowing his grandson, Jack, to see a room full of people celebrating his papa, I'd like to say thank you. As the son of a golfer, I share a lot in common with many of the spouses and non-golfers in this room. There's nothing worse than making the mistake of asking your spouse how their round was. Getting a shot-by-shot recap is the worst. We don't care. And when you call from the road, it's even more agonizing. So I'm not going to stand here and give you a shot-by-shot anecdotes and possibly remind some of you in the room about the times he beat you on the course, because that might take all night. Instead, it's the man off the golf course that was more fascinating. You may not be able to tell by looking at me physically, but like my dad, we had a similar physique. I just have more hair. But we're shockingly good athletes. He was encouraged to play tennis as a professional, and his tennis coach said that was the worst mistake of his life when he stopped playing tennis in high school to win 3 state golf championships in a row. They didn't let freshmen play golf, so he had to play tennis. I never beat him at tennis. He could bowl, he could throw darts, he'd hustle pool, he could play basketball, and he could just stand there and shoot free throws to the point where I would just go inside because I was never going to touch the ball. He started repairing golf clubs in high school, and like the video said, he became a certified technician with major brands. He began designing and selling his own clubs, and at one point was partnered with Tom Lloyd, and they had their own line of woods and sold them locally. And he was always tinkering with golf clubs. Sometime around 1986, he got a phone call asking if he would be a substitute professional at Riviera Country Club. The pro had something come up, and they needed somebody for 3 months. And I thought the highlight was he met the guy from Revenge of the Nerds, but it turned out Roger Cleveland, and they hit it off immediately. Like I said, a lot of technology came through the basement on 812 Fairway Drive, and one-of-a-kinds, customs, he knew it all. There'd be clubs that would have like yellow tape on it that said Ben Crenshaw backup 3 wood. And he kept all that stuff for decades. And people would actually knock on his door and say, "Hey, I heard you have stuff in the basement. Can I see it?" And he'd let them in, and I'd be like, "Do you know this person?" "No." But they want to see the basement. So it was one of the worst kept secrets in town. When he was a tour rep, that was a pretty strict job with a lot of rules. But players would come to him and say, "I'm going to take this wedge over here. Would you follow me over here and help me with my swing?" And he would do it. And I'll never forget in 94, Crenshaw came up to me at Bay Hill and just bluntly asked, "Why is your dad doing this? Why isn't he out here with us playing?" And there's a lot of luck in that. And my dad's Achilles heel was his putting. It was streaky. But he was better at teaching and better at working with players. He worked with Annika with her wedge game, and that week she shot a 59. He was buddies with Ozzie Smith, and Ozzie Smith would be in the basement at 812 Fairway Drive, and they would go sneak off and do lessons together, and he'd play in Ozzie's tournament. And we could name drop all night, but one of our favorite name droppings was he would call me and go, Norman's got a one-shot lead with like 4 holes to play. I need you to turn on the TV so we can make it lose." Greg Norman was not a nice person, and my dad and I took great pleasure in destroying him from afar. Off the course, my father helped people more than you could know, from jobs to if they needed furniture, to helping them find a place to stay, to making sure the staff at the club near his home was taken care of and treated with respect. He was known all over town, and there wasn't anywhere we could go that a story wouldn't drop or a half hour would be lost in the parking lot. He was also really good at names. He could meet you one time and know your name for life. I could meet all of you every day for the rest of my life and know none of your names. And he never shared that gift with me, but he made people feel good about themselves, and that would pay off over time. The relationships. It didn't matter how and when you met him. He remembered you 20 years later, and that was a true gift. COVID, we're going to go a little dark for a minute. COVID hit in early January 20, and it took all our time. All of us lost things. My father was really scared of COVID and locked himself down. We only could talk to him on the phone, and sometimes we would park in front of his house and talk on the phone, and he would stand in the window. He wanted no physical contact with anybody. And the day before he passed, he sent me a text thanking us and saying that because we had agreed not to hang out with him as a family, we probably saved his life. And he asked if he could have lunch with our oldest granddaughter, Anna, the next day. And I was like, because she was graduating high school, and I said, sure, but you got two other grandkids that really want to see their papa. And he said, I'll have lunch with Anna tomorrow. Next day I'll take Brooke and Jack. And I thought that was great. And later that afternoon, I called him because I had something serious I needed to ask him. And he was really soft-spoken, which wasn't his MO. And I could just tell by the tone it wasn't the right time. So he had played 9 holes that day. And I listened to all 9 holes. And he didn't play well. And of course, it wasn't him, it was the 3-wood. So he went down to the basement and built a brand new 3-wood. And he sent some emails and told Mary about 8 o'clock he was going to bed and never woke up. But when I arrived at his house after being startled awake, 3-wood was by his chair. And then I asked Mary why his putter, he had a putter named Woody that he used for decades. Why was that by his chair also? And it gave me a little comfort knowing that his favorite golf club he ever owned was by his chair at the end. Now that I brought us all down, I only share this with you because we live in an age where we take time for granted and we're too impatient with one another. And if it doesn't happen on your phone in 15 seconds, we don't care. But you should know my dad lived a blessed life. He played golf for a living. His hours of time spent on the range and course took him in on a unique journey, many adventures, and stories that are told and live on. Every now and then, I still hear a new story, and it makes me laugh. If he were here tonight, he would thank his mom and dad first. He'd thank his stepmother, Marge, Mary, myself, my wife, and his grandkids. He'd tear up. He'd thank Paul and Barb for the nomination. He'd tell some really bad golf jokes. And then he'd probably ask you guys what took you so long. But he would be honored. He'd be humbled, and he'd be deeply thankful. And he would thank you all tonight for taking the time to honor him, my father, Jack's grandfather, Scott Jerome Bess.
Well, Chris and Jack, on behalf of the Gateway PGA, thank you so much. And we proudly welcome Scott Bess into our Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. What a day! What a way to honor your father's legacy. Our second inductee tonight was nominated by his friend, his coworker, and his fellow honoree this evening, Kurt Goss. Joe Schwent needs no introduction and is one of those people you have in your life that stands alone. I don't know that I know anyone with his energy, his sense of humor, his generosity, his work ethic, and his love for his family and friends, his pride in his facility and his staff as Joe does. I had the privilege of being an assistant for Joe for 3 seasons at Belle Reve. He took a chance on me as a 22-year-old with no resume to join his and Mike's team, and I can't think of anything in my professional life that was more instrumental in my now 20-year career as that opportunity. I learned a lot from watching Joe interact with his members and just his joy that he has in his daily work life. Here's a fun top 5 things that I learned so far from Joe Schwent. Number 1, I teach this to my staff a lot this time of year. If you use the right amount of wrapping paper, you can't screw it up. I was a terrible gift wrapper until that first year at Belle Reve. Now I'm decent. How to speak on a microphone, although he didn't like to share it very much when I worked for him. When bringing a food to a party, and you're usually running late, bring the White Castle crave case. It'll be the first thing gone. You don't have to worry about grabbing a dish when you forget it. Daughters are the best. He had 4. Lori and I decided to stop at 2. And don't putt against them for dollars. It took Ryan Martin longer to learn that lesson than it did me. Joe's career has been centered around 2 Gateway section clubs, Belle Reve and the Country Club of St. Albans. After serving his mentor, Jerry Tucker, as an assistant professional for years, including the 1992 PGA Championship, Joe joined with Mike Tucker to take over after Jerry left for Florida. Following 10 years as co-head professional, St. Albans made Joe their next director of golf, where he's been there for now 18 years, and he just keeps on going. Joe's service to the Gateway PGA started with the Gateway Golf Sale, which continues to this day. The annual sale, which benefits both the section and our community of golfers, has been a constant in Joe's career since 2001. He has volunteered his time in his facility multiple times as part of the Ozzie and Friends Gala and Pro-Am Committee, benefiting PGA Reach Gateway. In 2009, Joe was elected as secretary of the Gateway PGA, and his 8 years of service was highlighted by serving as president during the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship in 2013 at Belle Reve. I knew I could lean on Joe anytime I needed advice during my time as an officer. Joe was awarded the Joe Dodick Gateway PGA Golf Professional of the Year in 2010, an extra special honor since he caddied at Westwood under Mr. Dodick. Joe is beloved by his members, and he is known as Joe the Pro by members and golfers of all ages. He truly loves the game and those who play it. His relationships and interactions with his members stand out and is always available to help them with their game, setting up a bet, a card trick, proving how many golf balls you can fit in his mouth at one time, or entertaining with a funny story. If you talk to him about a great round of golf in the shop afterwards, be ready for his go-to line, "Congratulations, post it." Joe is even more dedicated to his family and friends. His lovely wife, Laura, blessed him with 4 daughters, and his childhood friends, Jean and Greg, who are here tonight, are as much his family as anyone. If he or his brother Dave challenged you to any racket sport, I'd advise you to just walk away because you're probably not going to win. A memorable day working for Joe was Christmas Eve. Joe would pull his car down to the golf shop. It was more like Santa's sleigh. And he would ask for help unloading. We would wrap countless presents of all shapes and sizes for their family gathering that evening. Needless to say, that day went very quickly. As a mentor, Joe is always there for his people. His tree of professionals he has developed is constantly growing, and all of us are fortunate to be part of Joe's career, are better because of it. I'll close with a story from one of my first section membership meetings. It was held as a Ameristar Casino. I think it was the only one we ever had there, in 2003. And I was one of the younger attendees and trying my best to be attentive and blend in with the crowd. I was sitting at a table by Joe in the back of the room, and Mike was on stage. He was an officer at the time. We took a short break, and Joe said, "If you're going to get a drink, grab me a Sprite." So I did, and I returned to the table well before the break ended. The meeting resumed, and Joe was MIA for probably at least 30 minutes. He reappeared, and I said, "Where have you been?" He pulled a large stack of chips out of his pocket and said, "It's hard to walk away when you're winning." Well, Joe, it's safe to say you're definitely winning tonight. I hope you enjoy this video on Joe the Pro.
Joe works 7 days a week, most weeks, which is unbelievable. His work ethic, he loves to see me at about 9 o'clock in the morning when I get in, Monday through Friday typically, and he's pointing at his watch, 10,000 steps already before 9 o'clock. So he's an incredibly hard worker. That being said, I marvel at his family life. His wife and girls and their husbands and grandchildren really adore him, and that's not hyperbole. They worship him. He is the leader of his family in every sense of the word.
You know, he loves the game of golf. He loves to work hard to make sure that everything is done right.
What do you need to know about Joe the Pro? Joe the Pro likes to have fun. He likes to make fun of people and have a good time with them. And if he's not making fun of you, you're probably in trouble with him.
It started back in the mid-'70s when I was a caddy at Westwood Country Club working for Joe Dodick. And what a great gentleman to start my profession with. And really just caddying there. It eventually morphed into working in the bag room for a little bit. And then from there, it kind of was accidental that I got involved in the golf industry. And we'd get 20, 25 guys together every Friday for a game of golf. And I just happened to be paired with Mike Halcomb, who was the pro at Lock Haven in Alton, Illinois. And so we were in the clubhouse afterwards, and Mike asked me if I ever thought about getting in the golf business. And he said that he thought I would make a good assistant pro. And I said, well, Mike, I appreciate that. Sounds great. And tell me what you're thinking. He goes, well, you know, I'd love to have you come work for me. I said, well, that sounds great. Tell me what you're thinking. And again, today's Friday. He said, well, can you start Monday? So I did. And that was in June of '81.
I first met Joe at a staff meeting his first week when he started. And honestly, I thought he was a little bit on the arrogant side, kind of a know-it-all. But after working with him, after working with him for a few weeks, you know, I noticed he didn't wear a watch, he didn't carry a radio, and I thought to myself, gosh, what sort of dial-it-in golf professional have they just hired? But I soon came to know that he was not a dial-it-in golf professional by any stretch.
Yeah, no, Joe's a great leader. I had a lot of respect for him when I didn't work in the same club as him. You know, very highly thought of by all the golf professionals, you know, in the section. And so have the opportunity to come over and see it and watch it firsthand. You know, part of my job is to be critical. You know, it's to find the little kinks in the armor and, you know, where can you improve? And, you know, it's not easy with Joe.
Well, I think we learned under a great mentor and master golf professional and my brother Jerry. So, and I think Joe would say the same thing. I mean, he gave Joe a chance early in his career. He gave me a chance, and then we both had left for other jobs, and we came back. So that, what Jerry instilled in us, we both needed that direction. We needed some of the, you know, again, parts of the skill sets that I have now I didn't have before Joe, obviously before Jerry, and I think together we both learned from each other. And Joe, being like a big brother, was, you know, we battled on a couple things where, you know, we had to make some hard decisions, but at the end of the day, we really acted like a family. I mean, it really was. And like I said, I learned a lot from Joe. Obviously his financial skills, you know, what he did with the numbers, he paid the bills. He was over there crunching them up. I was never going to mess with him in that. And, you know, I did some more teaching and some of the things that, you know, more on the outdoor level. But, you know, like I said, I hope we learned from each other. I know we did. And whether or not, you know, whether or not we had all the answers, we worked hard to get them. And I you know, again, you know Joe, and no one works harder for their membership and their people than Joe does. And I learned a lot from that. And like I said, I thank him for allowing me to be a strong enough professional to be where I am today.
He's just a person that's going to go above and beyond for others. And there's not many people like that. It's never about him. It's always about other people. And that's who he is. He's a friend, a mentor, a family man, and you can't can't teach it. It's something truly special, and every day I try to take a little bit and make myself a little bit better. I hope after 10 years working for him, I have gotten better, but I'm not him. I wish I had all that energy and whatnot, but yeah, he's truly somebody pretty special that puts everybody well before himself.
Joe is a consummate golf professional. He does, I mean, there's nothing that he doesn't do well or exceptional. And his best attribute is his people skills and taking care of people and serving his membership.
I mean, he really does think about, what's the member perception? How is it going to affect them? What's best, overall thought process for not only the member that day, but the membership in general.
As I've gotten older and wiser, I absorb more, and I try to be as much as I can. I try to be Joe, even though we're completely different personalities. So what I learned is just do your best, take care of people the way you want to be treated, and things will be good. And I can't thank him enough, because it's been very vital for my career to work for a now Hall of Famer. And I joke that maybe one day I'll retire before he will. He just doesn't slow down.
I know he's mentored a tremendous amount of golf professionals, has connections, whether he was a head golf professional at Belle Reve and, hired somebody in as an assistant. He's got golf pros. I mean, his tree has got pretty long branches on it, and especially in the St. Louis area and just in the Midwest in general. So
it was very meaningful. We were hosting the Ozzie Smith PGA Reach Gateway event here at St. Albans on a Monday, a couple of Mondays ago. And the tournament was over. We're upstairs eating some of the leftovers. Sean Barnes, was sitting with me, and Kurt Goss, and Paul O'Brien, one of my new golf professionals here. And Brett comes up and he starts talking. Actually, I was talking and he's listening. Imagine that. And he eventually said, "Can I talk?" Because I kept talking, and we were sharing stories with Sean Barnes as you usually do when you're with Sean. And that's when he let me know. And to have Brett Mooney let me know that I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, what a special moment. I'm a big softie. I'm surprised I didn't start bawling, but I was holding it together so that I could thank the committee and thank Brett for presenting me with that great honor.
Joe just always takes care of people, period. That's what he does. And always, daily, he does things that are, that serve as an example of the way he takes care of people. For example, one of our members had been out of town. He had taken his clubs with him, and he was in the parking lot and walking his clubs to the golf shop. Joe and I were, it was our Oktoberfest tournament. We were out on a cart, meeting and greeting and kissing babies and taking care of members. And we're coming back to the clubhouse, and Joe sees that, and he immediately stops and just takes the clubs out of the members' hands and continues to drive the cart holding the clubs. And I look over at him and I said, Joe, who does that? I said, you go out of your way, you saw him in a distance, above and beyond as always. And he looked at me out of the corner of his eye and he says, HOF 23, baby. And I just looked at him and laughed and thought, well, and so it begins. Here we go. How many times am I going to have to hear that for the next, rest of my life? So that's an example of he's just got a great sense of humor.
We are all so proud of him, and the girls, just could not say enough accolades about their father. And they wanted me to say that he was always present with them and not to miss their games, and just to make sure that, okay, I have to leave at this time. And so he is very well loved. He is very, and we're very appreciative for all that he does for us.
I can tell you, I am here because of my wife. My wife has allowed me to do what I need to do to be successful in the golf business. And I absolutely share this with Laura Johnson Schwent. You bet I do. When my kids ask me, what does this mean? It's like, this is the highest honor. It doesn't get any higher than this. Someone might say, being inducted into the Hall of Fame on a national level would be the highest honor. It wouldn't be for me. It would be entering with these people that I have respected and revered for my 43 years in the golf business.
Yeah, Hall of Fame 23, baby. Yeah. Congratulations, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gateway PGA Hall of Famer Joe Schwinn.
There you go, sir.
All righty then.
All right. HOF 23. I can see you. I mean, I've known you for pretty much my entire 20 years of being here. I could totally see you saying that. All right. So Joe, we all know how special your family is, and we're going to go there. Absolutely. But let's start PGA. And just like for Mr. Best, looking here just at some information, PGA member since 1986. And Brett talked about it. Most of the career has been at Bellerive and St. Albans. But at those two facilities, you've done some pretty amazing things for the members, for events, for the community of St. Louis, hosting events on a national level from different organizations. There's a lot within Bellerive and St. Albans that we don't want to pass by. You sat in all the chairs of the board of directors for the Gateway PGA. You've been on multiple committees. You've chaired many committees. So being so involved over the last 43 years, what's one, maybe two things that you're most proud of looking back as your time as a golf professional in the Gateway section that now you're a Hall of Fame member of?
Thank you, Nathan. And thank you all for that warm reception. I really appreciate that. Before I wanted to talk, I wanted to thank Chris and the Best family for being here. Congratulations. I am thrilled to be going in with Scott. And Chris, you may have only beat your father twice in golf, but you learned how to talk like him and tell a story. So congratulations on that. You certainly do hold a candle to him when it comes to telling stories. So great job. Let's hear it once again for Scott Best and his family. Well, some of the people in that video took away my thunder. I wanted to talk about a few things that I was very proud of, and it was great to hear all of my friends and family talking there. Honey, I love you more than life itself, so thank you for those wonderful words. It's been 40 plus years, and I'm very proud of what was accomplished. I was the assistant chairman, so I really enjoyed getting involved from that level. But I would say the best thing about my career has been, I feel like now I am the tournament guy. And I wear that moniker very proudly, that if somebody has a question, one of my fellow professionals has a question about what they might want to do with the tournament or any tweaks that they might want to make to their tournament at their club, they feel free to give me a call. And I like thinking out of the box. If you attended a tournament at St. Albans last year and came back for that next tournament, I hope that something was a little bit different and most likely better, because I was always looking to make it a little bit better. And I am very proud of what I've done as a tournament guy. And I'll tell you, Jerry Tucker kind of instilled that in me. He says, Joe, he goes, what you want to do is you want to know a lot about everything, a little bit about everything, and a lot about one thing. So tournaments, I would say, are my one thing. And from a secondary standpoint, which kind of feeds into taking care of members, and all you golf pros know, Kurt Rowe, thank you for being here, Kurt. He's about to hear what he and I have been talking about for a few years. Up until recently, I can just hear it in my voice when I have that member come up to me and say, Joe, can you explain to me why I'm a 10 handicap and I play from the white tees, and I'm playing against Bill and he's a 10 handicap and every round he plays is from the blue tees. Why do I have to give him 3 shots? Guys, any golf pros in the room understand that conversation that happened
all the time, every tournament that you ever had. They didn't understand it. Of course, the explanation would be that your average score is 3 strokes lower than his. That's why you have to give the shots. Not to mention the whole handicap system and how the course ratings work and the slope rating. All that. They don't care about all that. They just did not like giving the strokes up. So Kurt Rowe knows that the USGA and I have been talking for many, many years, decades, about this system, and I felt like they didn't really get it. That we had members that we had to talk to, and we needed them to feel comfortable with the handicap that they were receiving when they were playing golf. And they said, well, yeah, you just need to explain to them that the targets, they have a target score, and that's based on the course rating and all that. And I said, listen, they're trying to shoot par relative to their handicap. They don't care about the target score. And when in 2013, not that I can remember it like it was yesterday, when I don't remember where the meeting was. It actually might have been here. When somebody from the USGA said, you know what, we really don't care about par when it comes to the handicap system. And I said, well, you all are really missing the boat, because every golfer in America is trying to shoot par relative to their handicap. So I will not tell you that it was my browbeating of the PGA or the USGA or GIN, but I do feel like certainly I played a part in sending them formulas every year and telling them that we need to do something about the handicap system so that when people play from different sets of tees, they feel comfortable about the strokes that they're giving. So I'm very proud of that accomplishment.
So the video talked a lot about mentorship and golf professionals that you've mentored, and I actually received a lot of mentorship from Joe. So here in the Gateway section, I was elected to serve as an officer right behind Joe. So when Joe was president, I was vice president. When he was vice president, I was secretary. We spent 8 years together, going to meetings and running the operation of the section. So whether it is somebody involved with the section or a golf professional, what is something, when you talk about mentorship, that you would like to be your living legacy, something that people will always remember Hall of Fame for Joe Schwint for how he mentored the next generation of golf professionals?
Thank you, Nathan. You know, anybody that's been around me has probably heard me talk about Jerry Tucker more than they care to, because Jerry was a great mentor to me. But I will tell you, his brother Mike is who got me involved with the PGA. So Mike, I know you're out there. Thank you for getting me involved with the PGA. I really appreciate that. Nathan, I'll tell you, for me, it was said in the video many times by many different people. I hope what people see in me is that, and certainly the gentleman that I work with at St. Albans know that when a member comes in and they might not seem happy and maybe a little bit curt and they walk out and that was a little unusual for them, the one thing that I stress to them is you always need to put yourself in that member's place. You know, that if it's out of character for them to be out of character, give them a break. Maybe there's something bad going on in their life. Maybe something happened to them on a personal matter. Just, you always need to try and put yourself in their place and accept however they are. But more importantly, when you're getting ready to do something, whatever it is, do a rule sheet, set up a tournament, or just display merchandise, or getting ready to greet somebody, I feel it's very important for you to put yourself in that member's place. And how would you want this experience to go if you were that member? And I have lived my life that way in pretty much everything I do. Unfortunately, that means I can't get away with anything with my wife, because she would very quickly say, you've got to be kidding me. You really did that, because I know you thought about it before you did it. And that is true. So, honey, I appreciate it when I did something stupid, you accepted the fact that I actually thought about that and still went ahead and did it. It's true.
So, okay. So when people say Joe Schwint, they think of Joe the Pro, they think of fun, they think of family. And again, we're going to get to family in a minute, but you know, we watch the video, we see the pictures, you're always having fun. We see the golf balls in your mouth. You are the master of all ceremonies. I hear rumors of a Chris Farley interpretation you do pretty well, evidently. I don't know. But you know, how is it that you're able to incorporate so much fun into your daily life, both at home and the facility? And why is that important?
Oh, I think it's vital. Laughter is the best medicine. I mean, we all want to laugh out here. So, yeah. By the way, it's only 4 golf balls. I mean, people are trying to say that it's 5, or it's only 4 golf balls. And I do that for my junior banquet. I do warn them that I am a professional and don't try this at home. But being with great people, great coworkers, that you can see that they want to up the game, they want to make it fun for members. I think that's what it's all about. If you're not trying to have fun out there, then why are we all here? It's easy to go from day to day doing, just the mundane job. And it was said earlier, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I truly look forward to going to work every day. I'm sorry, honey. I do look forward to going to work. It's not that I'm trying to get away from chores at home. I'm not. But I do look forward to going to work every day. I still go in pretty much every Monday, even at this time of the year, just because I enjoy going there and getting done whatever needs to be done. And by the way, when I'm there, if the phone rings, I'm not trying to avoid members. I'm answering that phone call and seeing what can I do to help whoever is on the other end of that line. Probably don't call if it says Robo in front of it, though.
All right, so let's go to the family, right? Here's the moment, and I'm going to go back again. So when I was elected secretary of the Gateway PGA section and started going to meetings, like I immediately saw in
Wait a minute, Nathan, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I know my kids are looking forward to this. I wanted to give you an example, okay? So, yes, Brett, where's Brett? I'm sorry I never gave you the microphone when we worked together. But I told my family that we might do this, that Nathan was going to ask me for an example. So I'm going to throw at you what some of my members are used to seeing on a daily basis when we have functions, okay? And maybe I'll throw a curveball in there that, Phil Kumnick, our former president of the club, maybe he hasn't seen it. I'm going to turn around to get in character with each one of these. Some of you older people will recognize the very first one and the next one, but the rest of you, the younger ones, will recognize the other. Okay?
Well, hello there, boys and girls. It's Danny from the Rocky and Bowen Food Show.
Are you ready, girls? I think it's appropriate to do this song right now because it's Christmas time, so. I will have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't be the same, dear, if you're not here with me. And that's enough of that one. Thank you very much.
So you kids are probably saying to yourselves, hey man, I'm going to go out and grab the world by the tail and wrap it up and pull it down and put it in my pocket. Well, I'm here to tell you that as you go out there, you're probably going to find out you're not going to amount to jack squat. You're going to wind up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
Okay, Nathan.
Oh, I don't even know where to go now. Oh, it's so good. So, I mean, thank you for that. So let's finish. Final comments are, of course, like I promised. And I noticed very early on how important your family was to you. You made that clear. Of that.
And it has helped me reaffirm for me, my own career, how important family should be to me. So thank you for that. I noticed that many years ago. So again, this is your Hall of Fame moment, your moment on stage to tell your family how special they are and what this means to you to be able to share it with them tonight.
Thank you for the opportunity, Nathan. Obviously, some great pictures. By the way, I just want you to know some of the other award winners here tonight were giving me a little bit of a hard time because I have 5 tables here. I just want you to know that's scaled down. Okay, I have 6 brothers and sisters. We have 26 children, and our 26 children have about 45 kids. That number's always changing. And we're virtually all in St. Louis. So I got a lot of family members that are mad at me because they were not invited. So it's all good. It's all good. So you family members that are here, you mean the world to me. All right, but don't tell the other ones. You know, Nathan, honestly, clearly family's everything. But what I found over the 40 years, your work family is just as important as your real family, as it were, the one that you were born into. Having a good work family and being at St. Albans for 18 years, I absolutely adore the people that I work with. I look forward to going into work every day, and it's not because I work with a bunch of jerks. It's because I enjoy going to work and interacting and with my coworkers. Certainly members come in and out, which is great. You know, that's all good, having fun with them. But it's really, you know, seeing all the people that I see on a regular basis. And I felt the same way at Belle Reve. I hated leaving Belle Reve. I'm going to tell you that right now. It was a sad day for me. I called one member that, you know, I was his instructor. And Dr. Carlin, I'm having lunch with him on a Friday. He's 99 years old. Okay, he was the one guy that I called because I really didn't want to go, but I knew St. Albans was the place for me. It made sense. I had been at Cherry Hills in the mid-'80s, which is what St. Albans you know, came from. All the members moved out west and became St. Albans. But I absolutely love working with people. I love being around people. And then from there, obviously, I had a great support group. You know, my mom and dad, they set the standards for a work ethic. My mom never drove. She never had a job in her life, just raising the 7 kids. That's all. That's no job, right? All you ladies out there, it's no job at all. She had a full-time and then some job. She made me, this is going to answer a few questions for you. She made me whatever I wanted for breakfast every single morning. Yes, and that's why I'm spoiled. Who said, oh no, over there? Okay. It's true though. That's the way my mom rolled. She would do anything for me, and my dad had 3 jobs, you know, so that we could have a good life. We didn't realize that we were poor. We just loved going out and having a good time with our friends. And then from there, you know, my 6 brothers and sisters, obviously they support me. My sister Sally and Debbie. My sister Sally would pick up my girls from school every day, take them home, do the homework with them, and then I would pick them up. That's how our day ran pretty much every day. My wife is a nurse, so she was working 3 12-hour shifts, and as you can imagine, it was a little bit hectic. So imagine first getting married, and your wife's working 3 12-hour shifts at night, and when she's coming home from work, I'm like, all right, honey, see you later. I'm off to work, and she has to take care of the 3 kids. That was a tough time. And that again goes to that flexibility that she gave me to be able to do what I absolutely loved. I love my grandkids. Only 3 of the 10 are here tonight. The rest of them hopefully are sleeping by now. Thank you, boys, for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, with 4 daughters, my first 3 grandchildren are all boys. So girls, thank you for taking care of that. My 4 daughters are back there and sons-in-law. You probably saw this giant in some of the videos. By the way, that's my son-in-law, Drew, 6'8", love it. Finally, the Schwentz are going to get some height. We appreciate that. None of us are over 6 feet tall. So, Drew, thanks for bringing that into the family. They have 4 kids. It's great. And then it goes on to my daughters. I couldn't be any more proud of 4 women than I am of my daughters. They're incredible ladies. I can't say enough about them. a couple of nurses. My oldest, Lauren, she is there for the for the other three girls for whatever they need, and she's there for everybody for whatever they need, and that's what family is all about. Leah just graduated college, not just, it's been like 3 years now. Leah, how many year program were you on? I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. It was only 5. And by the way, I can give her trouble about that because I think currently I'm sitting at about 3 credit hours in college. I think. Might be a little bit less than that. And then there's my wife. And I've already said it, and I can't say it often enough, that my wife never, she's going to tell you that I was there for everything. I wasn't there for my wife's graduation from college. So I wasn't there for everything because I'm sure there was a member tournament going on that day that I felt like it was important for me to be there. And I knew that my wife would understand. And of course she did. Honey, why don't you stand up for a second? How about a round of applause for Laura Schwent? I said it in the video, and it needs to be said again. I think I said something really silly in 2010 when I received the Golf Professional of the Year. I think I said something like, I may have won this award without the help of my wife, but it wouldn't have been anywhere near as much fun. What a stupid thing to say, by the way. Don't ever say that, guys. Always thank your wife. And leave it at that. But I can tell you 100% for sure, I would not be up here today if my wife did not give me that flexibility to be the golf professional that I wanted to be. So thank you all. Nathan, thank you for this wonderful evening. And thank you all for being here tonight. Family, I love you. And look forward to seeing you all at Christmas.
All right, Joe Schwinn, everybody, Gateway PGA Hall of Fame member. Well, Gideon. Well, Mr. Smith, I'm sorry that you have to follow that, but I'm very excited that you have to follow that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all being here tonight. And we are down to our final award for the evening, which is our Honored Golf Professional of the Year award. It's the highest honor that we give here at the Gateway PGA and that we bestow on a working club professional whose total contributions to the game are exemplary, both at his facility and within the Gateway section. This award embraces a wide range of services executed by a club professional. The recipient of this award demonstrates an overall exceptional performance record as a golf professional, service to the section and the association, strong leadership, ability to inspire fellow PGA members, inspire their staff, reflected a well-rounded and unselfish pursuit to the best possible PGA professional that he or she can be. With that, we're going to pause just for a moment and watch another great video that celebrates our Golf Professional of the Year, Gideon Smith.
I think it's his passion and his ability to connect with everyone. So, I mean, I think everyone can see that he's in it for the right reasons, right? He's not in it for any kind of status. He's not in it for money, clearly. He's in it for the game, growing the game, watching people do something that they love, and then people learn.
I've only worked at a golf course my whole career. I've never done anything else. From the bag room, starting off at 15 years old, till now, I have worked at a golf course. So I worked for a gentleman in Southern California. His name is Ed Whitenicki, and he is now a career consultant for the PGA. And at that time, he was an assistant. And I worked for him in the bag room or the cart room or whatever. Ed was like, hey, I know you're a good player, but you ought to consider this. You know, as a profession, you're really good with people. And, you know, for him to recognize, I don't know, I was 18 or 19 years old, that, hey, maybe this is something that you might be interested in. It was just my way to stay with the game. I truly didn't know the path I wanted to take as a professional when I started working for Scott Olds in St. Louis, or at Greenbrier Hills. But once I started getting to know people and everything else, it became, you know, apparent to me that this is my, you know, this is what I want to do, and this is what I feel comfortable obviously doing, and that I really have a passion for sure.
My first impression of Gideon was that he was just an awesome, down-to-earth person that wanted to see an employee of his succeed in the future, and I mean, he has just been an incredible person to work for.
Yeah, he's a fantastic leader. He definitely leads by example, which I think is great. I learned well from that. You know, he's not only preaching, but he's also like doing what he says. I mean, we do everything. He's not just sitting in the golf shop hanging out. He's out there washing off golf carts, pulling them up. He's out there handpicking the range, stuff like that. So it just shows that, you know, it is a team operation. Everybody gets to do everything, and it is hard work, but it can also be fun at the same time.
Mike Tucker, when I was up here, he's like, hey, you know, you ought to run for outstate director for the section. And I was like, oh man, I don't know about that. I mean, and so he gave me that nudge I needed to run and be elected as outstate director. I think I did that for 12 to 14 years, potentially. And I was kind of looking at the list of the past presidents that I've was served with, and so that was kind of the first nudge, and then obviously getting you know, kids in college and whatnot. But then I felt it was my time to at least run for office. If it didn't work out, great, I'd try it again, but it did. And it's been probably the most rewarding thing for me.
I think our thoughts were twofold. First, we support anything that helps develop Gideon because we're firmly committed to him. And second, we think it has a little carryover of enhancing the stature of the club also. And so, but mostly because it's something Gideon wanted to do and it'd be a good way to develop his career.
So what makes Gideon stick out as Golf Professional of the Year, in my opinion, is he is so involved here in the Quincy community, in the Gateway section now, being on the board. He was on the board before when I first started working for him as the outstate director. So he's always been a part of the board, and now, a handful of years ago, he took the leap to run for secretary, vice president, president, and he got that opportunity. So I mean, he's always been involved with the section, so he loves being involved, loves going to section events. One of his things is he wants to see us play in events and support the section, which is great. Starting his PGA Hope this year in Quincy has been a big thing for him. He has really took that to heart and wanted to start that, and it's done very well for him. And it's just things like that is what I would say has helped him become Professional of the Year this year.
I think he is deserving for Golf Professional of the Year because he has worked so hard just the past couple of years in general. I know he's very excited to be on the executive board and to be the vice president. I know that he has put in a lot of extra hours for it. You know, he has to drive back and forth to St. Louis, and that adds up time. But he always comes back here, and he could be tired and exhausted, but he's ready to work hard. He always has a smile on his face. He's ready to go. But he is very excited to be leading the Gateway section as well. So I think he's deserving just because he's putting in a lot of time and effort, and he loves what he does.
Gideon is one of the most positive, enthusiastic, energetic people I know from any walk of life. And that's particularly useful in a golf professional.
Gideon, congratulations on being the 2023 Golf Professional of the Year. I got to tell you, how cool is it to be able to do this again? It's deja vu for sure. I don't know how I won Golf Professional of the Year in 2012, but one of the highlights was get to call you a year later and congratulate you on winning the award after me. And who'd have thought that a decade later, 10 years. Somehow I do it again in 22, and guess what I get to do again for the second time? Call my friend Gideon Smith, an awesome golf professional, a great friend, and congratulate you on winning the Golf Professional of the Year. Congratulations, such a well-deserved honor. You're a great golf professional and a better person, and please enjoy the night.
Hey Gideon, I want to say how proud I am of you and how amazing you are. Congratulations on your huge award. You've come so far in your career. You're a great father, you're a great husband, you're a great golf professional. Your staff is, I'm sure, very proud of you, and you've been a great mentor to your staff. I think back to a long way when you were in high school, when we worked together at Menifee Lakes Country Club, and it was your first job in the golf business. How much fun we had and how amazing you were to work with. It's been a long journey, my friend. We share the same birthday too, January 24th, so I look forward to seeing you soon, and congratulations on everything. I just have one quick thing to say here. I had a couple notes that I wanted to go over real quick here about some of our good times at Menifee. You were only absent 29 times. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong sheet, hold on. You called in sick 42 times. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Last one, you were always there for me, my friend, and we had great times, and you're a great role model for so many. Thanks for everything.
It's been probably the most rewarding thing for me. I love serving our PGA members. I think the world of our Gateway PGA members, and so I truly enjoy serving as on the board and as their vice president right now.
That's really hard. I almost cried a little bit just now, and I'm not even that person. But he will cry, so I know that he will cry. Emily and I already have bets that he's gonna cry a little bit for the awards banquet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our 23 Golf Professional of the Year, Gideon Smith.
Need the box of Kleenex. Everybody get stock.
So, well, first of all, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
the easy one to get out of the way, but and we've got to go off script here a little bit. Did you know, and you talked about it at the very beginning of the video, did you know that Ed Wienecke was flying in from Southern California to surprise you to be here tonight to celebrate this award with you?
I did not. That was one of the best surprises ever. You know, that was great. He tried to sneak in, and I was talking to Barry, wherever Barry is. There's Barry, and all of a sudden here comes Ed, and I'm like, this is great. So, because we had talked at the annual meeting. So, thank you, Ed, for being here, being my mentor. But thank you very much for coming from Southern California to be here tonight.
Yeah,
That's
not just
awesome.
that. Thank you. Yeah. And I don't know if he told you, but he's got to work tomorrow, so he's got a 5 a.m. flight out of Lambert to get back to Southern
Yeah, he said he
California.
had to wake up at 4:20 in the morning. I'm glad it's him and not me.
So it's pretty cool to win this award one time, but to win it twice. Tell me what that means to you to be Golf Professional of the Year for the Gateway section for the second time.
Well, you know, it's amazing. It's what a great honor to be here. You don't do what we do to win awards or anything. Joe hit it on the nose. I mean, how do you follow Joe? I mean, that's crazy. Or Scott Bess or Chris. I mean, that was amazing. So they were phenomenal. So I truly love what I do. I love going to work every day. You know, I wake up Chris every morning, my wife, who is amazing. And it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. She goes, I hate you. Why are you waking me up? But I mean, I love doing it. I love the 12, 14 hours. It's not like a big deal. So this is an amazing to sit here as the Joe Dodick Professional of the Year, but to do it twice, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I mean, it really is. I mean, so Nathan and I have this great bond. He called me in 2013, and he got to call me this year. And we laughed about it, and it was phenomenal. And he goes, "Hey, you can't tell anybody. It hasn't been it's not public or anything like that, but you can tell your closest people." And I tell my wife, and I am like bawling like crazy. As you can see, I am a softie. And those videos of the golf, why'd you have to do it on the hottest day in America? I mean, we look like wet dogs out there, but that's okay. But then I'm trying to. Emily's on the road, and I'm trying to call her because John didn't pick up his phone, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm out picking the range, and it's like cold, and I have my son's out playing Jackson, and he's got my cart mitts, and I'm using head covers as cart mitts to hand shag the range. And I mean, I can't even get words out. So that's what it means. It is truly an honor to be here. Thank you very much, everybody. But it's unbelievable.
Well, and I will say, watching those videos, the videos are spectacular, and it's great. Obviously, you're involved at your club. It's great to see the comments from Quincy Country Club on there. You're very involved with the section. A lot of the members at all sections, they kind of will shift towards playing, maybe governance, maybe education. You do it all. You do it all while you're busy at your club. You have a family. I've asked this question to a few people tonight that are kind of doing it the same way, but you're doing it just a little bit more. How do you do it? How do you have the time, and what pushes you to be so involved at so many different levels? And Emily said it on the video, you drive a long way to come to all these meetings that are mostly focused around the St. Louis area.
Well, I guess, I'm dedicated to what I love our Gateway PGA professionals. I love our members. It's time management. You ask these questions sometimes in the interview process when they're talking to you about this, but you have to have a truly understanding family who understands what's going on, and knowing that you're going to be on the road a bunch and doing what you're doing. An incredible membership and board who, they're the first people who you talk to when you're truly thinking about running for an office, and it's like, hey, I'm going to be gone. You got to get their blessing first. I think that's truly important. And then, more than anything, it's time and a great staff. My staff is amazing. They absolutely. John, Emily, stand on up. Tim, we got our superintendent here, John and Emily. Please stand up, be recognized. Our club manager couldn't make it tonight. He is amazing as well, but I can't do what I get to do without them. Yeah. They make us look good. And sometimes, the playing is kind of smoke and mirrors every once in a while, but that's okay.
All right, quick one. Favorite part of being a PGA professional?
Favorite part? Everybody wants to come to our office.
That's true. That's a good one.
Nobody wants to go to the dentist, but everybody wants to come play golf. And that's the favorite part of our job. We get to come out. Everybody wants to be there. They're excited to be there. They're not as excited when they leave, but they want to be there. They want to be here to play golf, enjoy their day, and our job is to make sure that they have a great time while they're doing it as much as we possibly can. So that's my favorite part of my job.
So you are two-time Golf Professional of the Year. You're a successful player. You've won tournaments. You've qualified for PPC before. Earlier tonight, I talked about all the new associates coming in. You are now a leading mentor in the section, and you're going to be sought out by young individuals. So what's something you'd love to pass along to the next generation?
So they're getting in at a really great time in the golf world. And the golf business is a phenomenal business. I mean, it's not for everybody. We all know that. Some come in, some go out. But it is an amazing career. It has been phenomenal for me and my family. I try to, tell everybody that, hey, sometimes there's a rocky road there, but hang in there. And as you go and you're teaching and mentoring young professionals, I think the big thing is you got to challenge them, give them all different kinds of things to do, because you don't know what their specialty is going to be right away. It's not just sit behind the counter. I tell Emily and John when they first hired on, or any of the other ones, hey, you're going to do it all. I mean, everything you're going to do is going to be done here. You're going to be teaching. You're going to be washing carts, picking the range, rangering, merchandising. You're going to do it all, and you're going to have to find out what your niche is in this golf business. And it's not all, not everybody's going to be a head golf professional. Not everybody's going to be a teaching professional, but they may be a sales representative. They might be an executive. You want to make sure that they're trying to serve their the membership as well. Get involved. I mean, that's a big thing that we're going to probably talk about tomorrow night or tomorrow morning. You want to see people get involved and try it out. It's not for everybody, but yeah, just try it all. Absolutely.
Well, Gideon, you are one of the most well-rounded golf professionals that we have in the Gateway section. And I've told you that before, for everything that you do at your club, wearing many different hats like we all do. And so, thank you for that. Thank you for being a good representation of the PGA of America at a time when we need it the most. But specifically to this award and tonight, again, it's a very special night for you and your family. Please conclude the evening with anything special you want to say to your facility, Quincy Country Club, your family, your friends that are here, everybody that wants to share in this excitement with you and is so proud of you of being our Golf Professional of the Year.
I guess I could just ramble on for a few minutes. I know everybody wants to go home, but but that's okay. Thank you to the members of Quincy Country Club. I have a whole bunch of them here this evening. Thank you all for being here. It means the world to me. My family, amazing. Ed, thank you. Ryan, we're going to win a point this year. We're winning one. Kurt, you mark it down. We're winning one. We're like the doormat. Every time we stink. But thank you all for being here this evening. How about a round of applause for Nathan for being our MC? Oh, you well deserving. He is Mr. Important. That was probably one of the highlights of my career, is to see you get elected as the secretary of the PGA. That was amazing. What an amazing day that was. It truly is special to be here this evening. I always love the awards banquet. It's my favorite thing of the year. I have lots of mentors. Scott Old, who taught me that inanimate objects can be beaten up, like phones and boxes and stuff. Scott was an amazing golf professional to start my career off with. Lynn Rosley. I learned a lot from Lynn. I learned a lot from J.C. Anderson, Ed Wynicki, Hank Schiller, who I worked for in California, who was an amazing golf professional to work for. So Nash Haxel, who is here and is a great mentor to me. He has shown me, at a young age when I was an assistant, how to have fun on and off the golf course. So hopefully I show my assistants that as well. We have a great time, that's for sure. And Ryan Martin and I got to play with Large Pro at the Southern Illinois Open, I think, and we were riding in the cart, and it was like, who is this guy? I mean, he's telling us how he beat Tom Watson and Greg Norman, and it's like, wow, this guy's amazing. So who is this? But so yes, it's been truly, it's an honor. Thank you, Jeff Thornhill, for everything you do for me and our and Quincy Country Club. And Mr. Dunn is here. Love Mr. Dunn. Buck. So they're all here. So thank you very much. Have a great evening, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our evening, but one more round of applause, not just for Gideon, but thank you for being here tonight and helping us celebrate some of the very best of the Gateway section in golf in St. Louis. And special thanks or congratulations to Gideon Smith, our 23 Golf Professional of the Year. I think that was